My name is Tony. Big game coming up here. The Italian qualifier winner goes all the way to LA.
All the way to LA, Tony. Yes, exactly right. I mean, these two teams, they've played ever so well in the qualification process, only dropping one map between them. That, of course, was Anarchy. They dropped that map in the last game.
Yeah.
So they were, in effect, already through to this process anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Sublime just completely dominated going through their group 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, and 3-0. So you've got to look at them and think, probably the favourites. I mean, you look at the teams, you got Colga and Power in there, two of the most well-known Italian. They were there last year. They don't have necessarily the top player. They did have Swanee in there last year, which was definitely a big factor for them. And they did actually place in the money. It's only a few players in that roster that did actually do that. But expecting a good game. Will it surpass the game that we just seen, though? I mean, we were talking about it down there. Surely they're not going to lose this from 2-0, and they did. I mean, it was just ridiculous play by Rain, who eventually won it there. Yeah,
it was absolutely incredible. I mean, we were both sat there in the grandstand thinking, well, Orbit have got this. It's going to be 2-0 already. It's going to be 3. Whitewash.
Oh, yeah. It was
just... come Rain. Absolutely incredible.
And that 1v3 from Vizzy, they were talking about Herdrell and Bryce. You know, that was sort of like, it wasn't necessarily the turning moment, but that really switched it on for Rain when they got on that 5th and final map, and it was just completely
it was foot to the floor after that.
I mean, it got a little bit shaky. They did lose a couple of rounds, so, you know, a little bit risky, but in the end, they did walk away with it, and deservedly, you know. I mean, you go 2-0 down, it's not over until the fat lady sings, so well played to them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they really did keep their momentum going. They realised, come on, boys, we need to get ourselves back into this, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, well, we're just waiting on these teams getting set up now. They are moving inside the booths. And this is something I like as well. I mean, some people would complain it maybe takes a little bit of atmosphere away with the, you know, the banter between the team. But, you know, I think it's good because obviously we don't have that so much, as in it's not as aggressive, but it means we can cast, you know, everyone around here can hear us casting, and it's not a problem.
It's a massive atmosphere booster for the guys in the audience and everybody at home as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at these two teams, obviously we said Sublime are favourites, but do you think there's any potential for an upset at all?
Well, I mean, we discussed this before the last map, thinking that Orbit were going to take that. Mm-hmm. Obviously here, the big stage, where it all matters, might not go the way that we think.
Yeah, and I think, you know, every single game where there's only one team qualifying from each team, that is literally the 2 top teams from that country. So it's always going to be quite close games by the sounds of it. So, I mean, you do look at some of the other games coming on later up this afternoon with the German, the French, and the UK teams, obviously that being a bit more of a different format in terms of how they got here. Those games, the first few games, will probably be a bit more sort of one-sided towards obviously the favourite team. But we do have a big game coming up in there, Aware versus Tech. Probably the biggest game of today, I would say, in terms of you can't call it.
I'd say you've got Aware versus Tech, and I also think that you've got the All-Stars versus DB.
Yeah,
from the Benelux group, I'd say that those are our 2, say, generic tightest games. However, of course, the chance to qualify for the World Championships, every game is a big game.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I like about this format that we've done out here. You know, every single game of the first games of today, every single one is for a trip to LA. So, I mean, it's on the line. And then tomorrow, I was speaking to a couple of players, and, you know, the incentive wasn't necessarily there. You're thinking, well, it's just for the prize at the end of the day. If we win it, we win it. But now that it's come into it, that is actually going to affect seeding points going to LA. It's a big, big factor. You know, the teams are really going to have to get their sleep and come into this day. And they have to, you know, if one of the good teams comes in there, gets a little bit complacent, then suddenly you're playing complexity first game in LA.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of them things you do not want to do. You want to do the best you can tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, tomorrow is going to be helped out by pro points, seeding points already. And then, of course, how it works is tomorrow you'll end up getting more seeding points ready for the World Championships.
It's all in relevance to when you go over to LA. So big games for them tomorrow. You can see the teams getting set up there inside the booths. Just run a little bit behind here, but it does look like we're going to be getting sorted out pretty quickly. And I don't know if there's anything sort of, I mean, you look at the rest of the games. Let's just go through them. I mean, we've got Lightning Pandas against Analyst LA. And if we have a look at the Lightning Pandas lineup, I think obviously we have the UK players in there as well.
Yeah, you've got Shane and Necrome in there teaming with those players. So that'll be a very big game. I would have thought that Lightning Pandas are actually favourites in that. Once again, like we talk about, there's a lot of games coming up where it is all down to favourites. However, as we've just seen, that might not always be the case. So the maps for this game, we have, of course, got Anarchy versus Sublime. It's going to be domination on Sovereign, search and destroy on Octane, blitz Freight. Then should it go to more than 3-0, it's going to be domination Octane and S&D on Freight.
Yeah, so some good maps coming up there. You know, I personally, I wasn't a massive fan of the Freight combination
the
that we had
veto
going on.
system sort of failed it for me.
I like the veto system. I like the way it works. When that happens, though, it's a bit like, you know, you got to sort of put up with it. But, you know, end of the day, they were very good games, very entertaining match. And something I like to talk about as well, how good is Blitz to watch?
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. It's a great spectacle, it really is.
Oh, yeah, you know, you got the teams going backwards and forwards between each other, and it can just really go off. I mean, you'll often see if a team takes a lead, they'll either sit back and defend it, but that's the team that that lead just goes. The best thing to do, go at each other. You have the lead, keep going at them, because at the end of the day, if they're pushing to get points, you're going to push, you're going to get points because they have to push.
Exactly, and then your lead is always going to remain the same if you're constantly trading the points.
Yeah, we're just trying to get this game started up as soon as possible, guys. And once again, if anybody missed it, the maps are Domination on Sovereign, Search and Destroy Octane, Blitz Freight, Domination Octane, and Search and Destroy on Freight. Once again, we're getting lots of Freight going on here.
Popular map, and obviously not many teams decided to veto this map, so it's featuring very heavily in our map set so far.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got a lot of Freight, because obviously, to be honest, I think it is a very, very good map. The way that the teams play it, you can be very aggressive on it. So I suppose you've got to just choose the maps to suit your playstyle.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's all about playing to your strengths, and that's the whole reason that the veto system was brought in. Each team gets a chance to sort of pick what they want to play, in essence, and then, of course, gives them the best possible chance. However, with this being played on the Xbox One here, a lot of the teams have been saying, well, we only got an Xbox One 2 days ago. And some teams haven't even played the Xbox One until this very morning. So
I don't think it's too big of a factor.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think because I suppose it puts out... It can be a good thing, but at the same time, maybe not everyone in at the same level playing field. I don't think it makes too much of a difference, personally. I've played the game on Xbox One and Xbox 360. To be honest, I don't think in terms of the way it plays, it looks a lot better on the Xbox One, don't get me wrong. But the way it plays is just pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's a little bit more seamless. I mean, I think the bullet registration's a lot more on point on Xbox One to what it was on the 360. Not that it was bad on there. Yeah. And the only difference is the controller, maybe. Your thumbsticks are a little bit thinner and more mobile. Yeah, they're a bit more sensitive, aren't they? So, I mean, I think, you know, you can factor that into it. If you have played on the Xbox One before, obviously there's going to be a slight advantage. But I would say very slight. I don't think it's enough to really... I don't think it's a complete game changer. It can't be an excuse, I don't think. At the end of the day, I mean, you know, not everybody has £400 to spend off. But at the same time, if you're coming to this, it's very important. You could potentially say, oh, well, you know, it could be worth forking out for it. And then just get rid of it after finished. But, you know, I mean, if you want to keep the Xbox One, then I advise it because I want myself. I think if I managed to get my hands on one, I would not be getting rid of it. No. But, yeah, we're just trying to get this game started up as soon as possible. I'm not quite sure what the delay is. I think it was a bit of a delay getting the teams in. Once again, run through the maps if you have not heard them. Domination, Sovereign, Search and Destroy, Octane, Blitz, Freight, Domination, Octane, and Search and Destroy on Freight. Yep, it won't be too long until we're underway. So, of course, the tournament system for tomorrow, the winner walks away with 15,000. Is it dollars? Euros? Yeah, euros, that's the one. So that's a nice little bit of spending money for the team when they get to LA. Yeah, I mean, just a trip to LA in itself is a good enough reward. I mean, you've got to turn them on the day, win one game, and you're going to LA. I mean, it can't be that bad, really. I mean, you know, Activision treat us well. They tend to put you up in a nice little hotel in LA as well. So, yeah, it's a great city. I was there last year, obviously. And not that I like to rub it into you at all, Gucci, but yeah, it's a nice. It's a nice trip for anybody. So we'll just see what is going on with this, guys. Sorry about the delay once again. Of course, we have the Italian qualifier going on here. We have Sublime taking on Anarchy. Just waiting on them getting set up here now. And they're actually in the booth, so I'm not too sure what's going on. Actually, we're just trying to find out. I think it's just down to the final classes. Dot the I's, cross the T's, getting ready. Two teams just on your screen right now. That is on our left. Right. Right. Okay. Left and right. You're so clever. Yeah. It's the glasses. And yeah, the two teams lined up there. Obviously, the setup we've got up here, we've got a screen for each player in front of the actual where they are in the booth as well.
So obviously the crowd can all watch that. Obviously it's not as much of a big deal for the people at home. You will be watching what we are watching and what Gucci's going to have to control because I've got a broken hand and I don't want to break it anymore,
I
personally.
like the way that you took your cast off this morning just so they didn't look bad on stream.
Yeah, no, I mean, we can't have a massive cast. There's my scar. Sorry about that. Yeah, a bit grim. But of course, Gucci will be controlling, so if anything happens, blame him. But we are just waiting on the two teams getting set up here, guys. Sorry for the delay once again.
I'll take control of the stylish Xbox One controller.
Okay, and actually what I'll do is I'll run through the rest of the day, what we have coming up. So next game, we Lightning Pandas taking on Analysis, which is the rest of Europe qualifier. Then we have the Benelux or Benelux or whatever you want to call it. We have that qualifier coming up, Epiphany All-Stars taking on DB Gaming. The Spanish qualifier, which I'm really looking forward to. Actually, I think it'll be a brilliant game. Ozone Giants taking on Wizards. We'll have a lot of Spanish viewers tuning in for that, as per usual. And then we move into the German qualifier. Team Next Gen taking on Killerfish. Then we get the first of the UK and Ireland qualifiers. That's going to be TCM taking on Leverage. And let's just discuss the UK qualifiers, because obviously that's the sort of scene that we know a lot better than the others. TCM taking on Leverage. We've been speaking the Leverage boys as well. We've been speaking the TCM boys. TCM obviously have to be favourites coming into it. Leverage, I think the introduction of Sours is definitely an addition to their team in a positive way. And I think, you know, there may be potential for an upset.
I think the good thing about bringing Sours into the team, it's like his mind is Call of Duty based.
Oh, yeah. He loves Call of Duty.
I mean, he's been playing Call of Duty for over 6 years now.
Yeah.
So, and that's competitive Call of Duty for over 6 years.
Yeah,
not just playing publics for 6 years.
His experience is going to come in there. We've got German qualifier number 2 is not going down. If the news did not come out that FAB had been disqualified, and SK Gaming will advance on straight through to LA for team reasons and roster reasons that we'll not go into at the minute, but I'm sure they will be discussed at some point. Next game after that is going to be Aware Gaming taking on Tech.
You really are excited for this game, aren't you, Tech?
Yeah, I know. I think I've definitely got the highlight of that one. I think, you know, Aware taking on Tech.
I think that really is an absolute massive game.
It could go either way. And just let you know, guys, the reason that we have actually been waiting on the game starting up, Sublime were complaining that the lights were a bit too bright. And, you know, it was making me look a little bit pale. So I'm not going to complain too much.
I think you just look pale next to me.
Yeah, I know. You're hitting the sunbeds 24/7 though, mate. On to the next game after that. Vitality Risers taking on Infamous Theory. Last game of the day is going to see Epsilon Esports taking on DB Gaming UK. Epsilon Esports against DB Gaming.
That's going to be a very good game, but I think, unfortunately, DB Gaming haven't really got the best draw there because Epsilon looks so strong to them.
I don't think they have the firepower to beat that Epsilon
to be able
team.
to compete with that Epsilon lineup.
It's the sort of team they didn't want to go against. I feel as if DB are one of these teams that sort of rely very much on their gun skill and sort of on, you know, their flair around the map. Going against a team with Swanee, Tommy, Jerd, and Flux.
You don't need to say anything else.
Yeah, it's going to be a task, at least. I mean, you know, there's potential for upsets all over the place. You have to, you can't discount it, but realistically, with the UK games, we're going to see the favourites walk away. And most of them, obviously, the Horizon against Tech game, different kettle of fish. I think the Insidia versus TYT game is going to be a big
That'll
one.
be a very close game, I think Tech Aware, you've got Insidia, TYT, and I believe I'd say the Benelux game, the All-Stars versus DB game, and I'd say those are our 3 closest games.
Yeah.
But as we've just said, you can't really judge it on that based on what we've just seen with Orbit and Rain, because we thought that Orbit, that was going to be like a straight 3-0. Rain really did step up to the plate and make a game of it, and if every team does that here, because there is a lot on the line, son, a big opportunity at stake, it's going to be an incredible day of Call of Duty action.
And the thing is, you haven't got to let the pressure get you. I think Orbit at that point really did need to sort of, you know, just certify that and just think 2-0, let's go.
Sit back a little bit, keep a calm foot.
They didn't take control of it.
They're already on the plane in their head, and I think that's what...
Yeah, I think that was a problem, definitely. I think they're thinking, yeah, we got this. And they got a bit complacent. Rain came back, win the game deservingly as well. Just waiting on this game setting up. And actually, are we in any sort of lobby? If you can give it a bit of a check.
Well, that's a point.
Yeah, no. No, they're just playing a free-for-all for now. But at the minute, we will try and get this started as soon as possible. I think the light issue has been resolved anyway, as we were talking about, of course. The delay is due to the teams complaining about the lights, which admittedly, yes, it was a little bit bright. But of course, we have been put in the dark now, so you can't see us as well. Negative or a positive, I'll let you decide on that one. We're not known for our looks, more our voices.
Speak for yourself.
Okay. Just waiting on this game stand up here, guys. Of course, we will run through the lineups once again. We got Sublime, and we're going to run this out with Colga, Peebo, Rem1Xa. Oh no, it's Reflex. Sorry. Yeah, that's his. All these gamer tags, and we have Power as well. So that's the favorite lineup. And if you just want to run us through Anarchy.
Yeah, we have got May Street, Candy, J Rambo, and Ajax. Ajax not being a very Italian name.
Dutch, if anything.
Yeah, that was my point.
What? Oh, Greek.
Greek,
a
according,
Greek name.
A Greek name according to the producers in Aria.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll deal with that when it comes to it. I mean, you know, it's nice to sort of see all these new gamer types. So you used to commentate, and Swanee's going to push in there. Here comes Tommy. Here comes Colga. Here comes Power. You know, it's a bit different for us. We can sort of, you know, change it up a little bit. We're just waiting this game starting up here, though, guys. We have production all around us.
Oh, it looks as if there's a countdown going on. Oh, that's for a free-for-all.
Free-for-all once again. I think, to be honest, I'm sure there was a setup station, so the teams didn't need to warm up.
I was of the opinion that was the setup. Perhaps they're just testing to make sure that their settings are correct.
Potentially. So we will try and get this game started up as soon as possible. I'm going to fill in a little bit here. We were told we would sit down and casting. I didn't have to talk about anything else. No, we are just waiting these games started up once again. We'll run through the maps once again. I think
for those of you just joining us,
the 5th time I've run through these. We've got Domination Sovereign, Search and Destroy on Octane, Blitz Freight, Domination Octane, and Search and Destroy Freight. So just waiting this game and getting started up. Yeah, what wire have you kicked, Gucci?
I haven't touched a thing, Ton.
All right, we'll just ignore that. We'll sort that out when it comes to it. And, you know, coming into this game, obviously we've talked about Sublime being favourites. Where would you say they did go through, where would you see them go through in the tournament? I suppose it all depends on who
it all depends.
Against,
A, you've got to play today, and then B, you've got to play tomorrow. And this Call of Duty being on the day thing, as we've said time and time again, it really can change at the drop of a hat, at the drop of a pin. It depends how they sleep today, how they play today, how they go into tomorrow, like what mindset they're in when they start playing tomorrow, because that of course determines their seeding points for the overall tournament in LA. So if they think, oh well, we're going to LA, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Go out partying tonight with a few celebratory beverages.
You wouldn't blame them.
No, you wouldn't. But they would be very, very unwise to do so, because of course tomorrow, that is where you get your best opportunity to place well in LA, and that is a tournament for $1 million.
It's a lot of money.
Exactly.
400,000 for first place. And realistically, we talked about the SEAL qualifiers. In terms of the teams here today, who do you personally think has a chance at the money, essentially?
At the money, I'd say you'd have to give the biggest bite to Epsilon, wouldn't you? I'd say they're the sort of team that can...
Yeah.
That sort of can compete with the level of, say, MV, with the level of Optic, with the level of complexity. Yeah. I mean, they came very, very close to taking down complexity at Gfinity 2.
Yeah, a bit of a different roster on that.
I appreciate that different rosters, different game, to be honest, it's still the same sort of base.
Yeah, I think, you know, you got that core of the squad there, and I think you're right, Epsilon definitely do have a chance. TCM definitely got a big chance as well. And maybe one of them as well. I think a lot of people have been talking about Epsilon, TCM. I mean, weighed up, who do you think?
Between Epsilon and TCM? I think tomorrow will show that one, Son. Yeah,
I think they're definitely going to be shown in the final. I mean, that's nothing on the other teams. I do think those were, well, depending on... Well, no, they should be either side of the bracket because they are 1 and 2 in the seeding points as far as I'm aware. So we should see them going up against each other in the final. But we are actually going to go to a 60-second break. Do not go anywhere.
Heard for you. Like I heard for you.
welcome back to the European Championship Regionals. My name is Tony. I'm here with Gucci. We got the Italian qualifier coming up right now. Sublime taking on Anarchy.
Yeah, this is going to be for their place in the Call of Duty World Championships.
Yeah.
Let us know, guys, using the hashtag EUChamps, who do you think is going to take this matchup? Is it going to be Sublime or is it going to be Anarchy? Let us know your thoughts and opinions on the day's event. Let us know what you think. Who's going to make it all the way to LA? Who might even win in LA? Let us know if you think it's going to be a European team. That hashtag, once again, is EUChamps.
I think we've got a fairly good chance. I do. I think, but at the same time, you've got to understand that I don't think either sort of sides of the pond have really met substantially yet. I mean, we did have a team go over to UMG. Didn't do so great. They were tipped for big things, and they went out there and it didn't do fantastically. So maybe, would you say that's a significant enough factor to sort of determine how well they're going to do, or do you think it's just all up in the air? Because I couldn't really say.
I'd say that we're as close to universal no difference between us, no gap.
Yeah, I think
than ever before.
I think it's really going to be determined, obviously, at World Champs. I think realistically, the Americans have always been ahead. I think that may continue. I think, because I just think that, you know, the way complexity. Well, obviously we did have MLG, but that was right at the beginning of the game where we did see TCM and Epsilon go over. And at the end of the day, they did actually have. They got a little bit unlucky, if anything, when they went over there. They did place, I think it was 8th, 12th in the end there, which is some of the best placements we've had in MLG. And I do believe the game is actually ready to go. Domination on Sovereign, but something I was just talking about while we were waiting on the game starting up. Excuse me. They definitely have a chance going over there. We look at how it happened in MLG and UMG, bit of mixed results, but it is really all cards on the table. So let's see what you've got, EU. That's because the NA guys are going to be thinking they've got it in the bag. EU guys are going to go after them. They're going to have to show up as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they literally have got to stand up and be counted and show that they can hang with the best in the world.
They can hang?
They can hang.
Well, we're going to get this game started up as soon as we can. Domination on Sovereign is the first map, and we're going to jump into that now. I'm going to let you drive this bus, Gucci, because driving with a broken hand is actually illegal and my insurance would be void.
Okay, so first of all, Tony, who should we get on board with? Do you want to see the Sublime team or Anarchy? What do you think?
Let's go with Sublime. I want to go on board with Power, actually. You know, I enjoy watching this guy. Pulls out some big players time and time again whenever we watch any Italian going on here. You all right there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Let's go on board with Power, rocking the M-Tower. He's going to jump straight on A, and if we bring this map up a little bit bigger, there you go. Let's bring it up on the first one. And we can see that 3 players are actually going towards B. Big gunfight's going to go down to B, and we'll stay on board with Power. He's going to come in around behind that fight, catch the back end of it. He's also going to catch a player pushing towards his home flag, which was A, taking him down easily.
Yeah, he's now going to take down that player and push in towards this middle map. His teammates have just secured that B position, so he's straight ready in a position up top to provide some support. Anybody going to come over to get the aerial dominance, he will be there ready and waiting to shut them down. But it looks as if he's going to overextend and go straight around the back, try and catch him off guard, seeing somebody underneath him.
He did just lose that player, and they are actually losing A as well, so the home flag is going down straight away. You can see that AK, that's what they name themselves now, are trying to get a bit of a, just try and catch them out. You know, if you can go to that home flag, it really throws the team off. Good movement by Power. He's not going to catch the player just yet. Does eventually take him down, and he's going to have all that time on A. Let's switch to somebody else, Gucci.
Let's have a push through. Let's have a look. Let's see what Kolga's doing. Is he in a better position to actually do anything now? Is he's going to push around? Just seen a stun explode in front of him, having a look. Nobody in his vicinity, but one's up top. It jumps to him, unable to land any bullets onto him.
On board with Colgan now. Remington and Han trying to get some shots down to top. They need to get control of this top control area. Points currently, it is going to be a slight lead to AK at the moment here on the Federation side. On board with Colga though from Sublime. Big shots going down towards the side corridor there. He's going to get shot in the back. Not going to get the turn on. Does get taken out, and it does seem as if AK are successfully defending that B flag. But the home flags have once again run into Rapture, and it's A and C captured by Sublime. Yeah,
getting on board with Ajax now. Our first look at this Anarchy squadron. Let's see what he can do. He's milling around this A area. Looks as if he's going to go providing his teammates some support, and able to do so as Power picks up the 2-piece there, taking down Maestri and Ajax. Let's have a look at J Rambo, who was left last alive for Anarchy there, just sitting pretty in B, making sure none of Sublime could go anywhere near that flag. Of course, the B flag on all dominations is such a key part of the map.
Of course, it is the key part of the map. You know, it's a central point. You get control of it. You can get control of the game. Bulldog does come out from Rambo here. Somebody going to pop his head around the corner. Smoke's going down. He's in a great position to do something about it. Currently contested flag. Has to do something. Cannot do anything. Lights in his eyes. Gets taken out. And it does seem as if Sublime are going to get a hold of B. And there's flag going down all around the place. It does seem as if it's going to get a hold of it. They are losing C. Can Colga do anything about that?
Yeah, Colga's pushing through with that. Bulldog takes down one and able to get the second. Saw them both on his screen though, so that means he's going to instantly get those called out. Let's get on board with Power, who's in a position but suddenly gets taken down. So back to Anarchy. See what Maestri can do.
So there you go. Sublime have now taken the lead. Have just a small one though. That is only going to be 7 points and rising. But currently B is being fought over. Rambo gets 1 kill and will try and secure this down. Somebody right next to him there jumps down from control, and that's going to be, yeah, it's Remix from Sublime. He's going to get control. That shot's going down inside B though. Lots of kills going down. We do see Mastery getting a kill, as does Pibu from Sublime. Rambo taking out their Power, and Mastery getting a kill there as well. So once again, AK are trying to get control of B. On board now with Pibu. Gets taken down again. So, you know, neither team can really get a sort of a great hold on B. But then if they can't get a hold on it, they are then now pushing out to the home flags. It's disrupting the other team. And what the teams need to do here is really try and think, right, what are we going to sacrifice for our home flag here? Are we going to send everyone and completely lose B? Or are we going to sort of think about this and try and push out together and try and push out in coordination?
Yeah, this map really is going back and forwards in the minute, Tom, but here's Maestri trying to push on as his teammates are losing B. Doesn't manage to land enough bullets into that player, and it looks as if Sublime are going to sufficiently take that. We've switched on board to Colga now as they are dominating this 2-cap area with 1 minute left on that clock. Picks up another kill there. That was against Ajax. And just going to sit in cover, sees 2 behind him, manages to land bullets onto 1, and able to do anything else there.
Yeah, the thing is, they can get B, but they can't get control. They're not controlling the right areas. They held down that right-hand side there, but it just seemed as if AK just came in straight through the middle. Got a hold of B. Once again, Sublime have got control of that. And they need to set up now. They've not set up well. Neither team has set up when they had a hold of B. Now they can try and get themselves set up. Shot's going to go down there. He's going to get taken out. Ajax going to get a kill. And most of Sublime do actually go down. So is this now an opportunity for AK to try and push as we move into the final 30 seconds? It's only a 10-point difference at the moment. This could still go anywhere in the second half. Oh yeah, my God, there's the shank. I think Rambo thought he'd taken him out, but then he go. Sublime Pivu comes around here, takes him out. That's going to end the game anyway. 15 seconds to go, and it's pretty much still going to be going into the second half with both teams in it.
Yep, definitely. I mean, no team can necessarily count themselves out of this. I mean, it's going to be, what, a 15-point deficit there to Anarchy by the look of things?
Yeah, it's going to be a 15-point deficit to Sublime, sorry. Sorry, the deficit is to Anarchy. Sublime going with the lead. And we have a look at the scoreboard there. 13-11, 4 captures for Pibu, so he's top of the board for his team. And top of the board overall, so good play by him. Top of the board for AK was Mastery, I'm going to call him. 9-13 with 3 captures to his name. There's the scoreboard for yourselves. And an interesting half. I mean, you know, both teams are back and forwards between each other. I think Sublime, obviously, with the score, did look the strongest. But it could have went either way. I think it was just a case of both teams not necessarily getting the hold that they needed to as soon as they got beat. But it was good work from both of them as they were going for the home flags when they couldn't quite break in there, really disrupting what the other team had.
You know, I think both teams actually struggled there to get a full hold on the map. I mean, even though Sublime managed to take it by 15 points in the end, I really did think that it was too sort of back and throw. I mean, the home flag kept switching, the B kept switching. I mean, that showed how tense and...
There was no consistency from either team, you know, they had it and then they didn't, and then they lost the home flag and then they had it, and then suddenly it's just all up in the air and nobody really knows what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. But, that's exactly what it was. I mean, no team really sort of got a full hold on the map and showed that they were the better team. Even though Sublime did win and they had the most sort of kills, they had the most points, all of that good juicy stuff, it wasn't that dominant for me.
Juicy stuff.
Juicy stuff.
Points are juicy stuff. If you ever listen to Gucci and he refers to the juicy stuff, then he's talking about points.
Domination points.
Domination points.
So this
anyway, we're going to jump in the second half now, currently with a 15-point lead to Sublime. Do you think AK can come back here? Because they definitely showed that they have sort of the ability to do something here.
Oh, definitely. I don't think that 15 points is much, to be honest.
It's not a lot.
It's a little bit of a cushion. That is it for Sublime. I mean, the way that it was last time round as well doesn't prove anything, because the way that it was so up in the air that if AK were to be up in the air again, but then hold it for just a few more seconds.
I mean, if one of your teammates goes and pulls off 2 kills, and then the other 3 players manage to get a kill apiece between 2 of them anyway, then you're looking at 4 down, and suddenly the game's changed just like that. So, you know, it can go down to that. Both teams will select themselves on the correct sides. Now we're going to go on board with, let's go on board with AK, because we did start with Sublime last time around. Let's go on board with somebody who's going to push in towards B. We're on board with Rambo.
Yeah, it looks as if he might actually go straight onto C here, or he's waiting to see if anybody does push through to A. It looks as if they actually put 2 players on towards that A flag to start with, and now he's instantly trying to get around the back of B. Knows that they are losing that, going to take the aerial dominance of that, but they've already lost it a little bit too late. He needs to be a little bit more direct.
He missed that guy in the corner. Sublime get 3 men down. AK, not a great start that they needed. And currently, it is Sublime in control.
I don't think he knew what he was doing. That was the problem.
He sort of just jumped in without really knowing. You need to have a look and then jump in if you know you've got the opportunity to do so. On board with Ajax now, Remnant in the hand. He's not going to get that kill. Koga does pick up a kill on Rambo. Ajax eventually getting the kill there. Power did get a kill as well. Big shots going down. Ajax picking up with 2 piece. Nearly a 3. Bulldog does come in though. Sorry, it wasn't the Bulldog, but Pibu did clean up there. Candy, here we go. This is the tactic we did see from them. They're trying to take the home flag, and he's in a good position to do so. Can he hold this down? MTAR in hand does get shut down behind the yellow bins though. And it does seem as if Sublime are going to regain control. Good shots by Mastery though.
Yeah, let's get on board with him as he's trying to push through towards this C flag. I mean, it's currently in limbo a little bit. Nobody's taken full control of that. He gets shut down on his way. Let's get on board with Peebo. He's currently 4-1 for his team, so having a good start to this matchup as he's pushing around once again for a swap on home flags. By the look of things, it's a tactic that these Italians are taking. Oh, nice from Peebo there. Sliding knife straight up the top now. Let's see where he will go from this. Will he just sit tight, wait for them to push out, or is he going to go for the capture? But they are currently 2 cap in turn.
Yeah, I mean, they've got control of the game. This is exactly what they need. They don't need the 3 cap at all. If they can control this, they're now another 12 points in the lead here. Big grenade if that kills anybody. Nah, it's not going to happen anyway. On board with Power. Let's switch on board with somebody else. Sorry, on board with people. Let's switch on board with somebody else. It does seem as if they're going for the A push though. Do get shut down in the process. Lots of kills going down mid-map though. That's a big gunfight coming up there. People does lose that one. Did go down to Ajax, and it does seem as if Candy has support from his teammate as well, so he should get a hold of this home flag. That will leave them with 2. Is he going to get it? It's very, very tight. Shot's going to go down there, and he did avenge his teammate there. Power did take him out, but Candy cleaned up, and he has a hold of C. B is currently in limbo as well, so they could really get some points back from this here. On board with Candy. Now shot's going to go down. He does get taken out. Currently, Rambo is going 0-7. Let's see if we can get him off that curse.
Oh, he was on a James Bond there. 007, not landing anything else. Currently 0-8, not having the best of starts. But as we did see in our Nordic qualifier, Orbit had a great start against Rain, but that just didn't happen for them. Rain managed to take that earlier on in today's Call of Duty qualifiers. So let's see if Anarchy can pull themselves back into this. I mean, I think Rambo just needs to stop stressing about it and just remember how to play.
Yeah, you really need to just sort of take your time here, and it's not going to help if you just keep running in. 0-9 currently on board with Mastery now, and that's 1 kill there for Rambo, so he's got himself on the board. On board with Mastery. As said though, they're trying to get a hold of B. Rambo has help in the front. Mastery holding down this left-hand side. We do see Anarchy pushing in here now, and they really do need to push for this now. Currently 8 points behind, but they are about to get the 2 cap by the looks of things. Oh no, sorry, that's Sublime taking that back, so there you go. They are once again in control, and it hasn't looked unlikely in this off.
No, I mean, Sublime really have. This is what I was talking about before, Tom, that we didn't see in the first half. We really are seeing it in this second. Sublime really are taking full control of this matchup. And once again, now Power getting directly behind them, putting down that smoke to throw a spanner in the works, so to speak. And now he's just going to be able to capture that A point. No, he's just neutralized it.
Yep, just neutralized it. That'll do them, you know, because now he can sit around and wait for them to jump on it. And he's going to be in control of that situation. He's noticed that, and there is 2 of them there, so he's got a tricky situation to capture very, very quickly. And I think he's just going to really make a nuisance of himself. On board with Power now, smashing the glass. They have noticed that he's around there, I think. Shot's going to go down with the MTAR. A bit wobbly from him. Doesn't manage to pick it up, but you know he's causing problems. Let's jump on board with somebody else.
Yeah, let's get on board with Kolga, who's currently 14-4 with 4 caps to his name. Made that 15-4 now as he's just dominating this B flag area. He is about to capture that point as well and make another kill. No, he's not. Called a little bit too early, as he did finally drop down.
Yeah, but it is pretty much all over now. I can't see, well, it actually looks like if it's impossible for Anarchy to come back into this map. So the first map is going to go to Sublime, and well-deserved. Let's have a look at the scoreboard there, though. 11-6 from People with 5 captures. Once again, fantastic work by him. 16-5 by Kolga. 17-5 by Kolga with 4 captures to his name. Remix only 1 gun negative here, but Kolga had a fantastic game for Sublime. Let's watch him for the final 25 seconds, see what he can do with this Remington.
mean, I hate to point out specific players, but it looks as if Rambo really struggled to get a grip on this game, and that's one of the key parts there. I mean, domination being a huge team game, team effort, it just wasn't working for him.
Nope, nothing happened for him then. It's just one of those games, you know, if you can come into it and it's just horrible to happen. I mean, there you go. There is the Sublime team. Pretty happy about that. One map up. And as said, the second map is going to be Search and Destroy. Search and Destroy on Octane.
Yep, Search and Destroy on Octane coming up right after this map switch over. Our final top player for Sublime there was Peebo with his 5 captures, so good team effort from him.
Yeah, and we're going to go to a very, very quick 30-second commercial. Do not go anywhere. We've got the second map coming up just in a second.
Welcome back to the European qualifiers for Call of Duty World Championships. My name, of course, Gucci. I'm joined by Tony. We are currently watching the Italian qualifiers. Sublime currently 1-0 up versus Anarchy.
Well deserved as well. You know, first half they came into it was a bit mixed up between themselves, but then Sublime really did assert their dominance on the second half. I can't remember what it ended in the end. It was around 20 points, I think. But, you know, it looked pretty comfortable from them.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. I mean, they got a grip on the game. Perhaps it was a shaky start due to nerves. I mean, as we said, a lot on the line, a lot at stake. They obviously got themselves refocused, recomposed, and ended up dominating completely. I mean, 20 points on the second side, 15 on the first. So that was a pretty convincing victory in the end.
There's the Sublime team inside the booth, and they were just standing outside of it, actually, because it's warm in there. You know, I stepped in there after the Orbit against Rain game, and good God, it's like a sauna. I mean, if you need to, you know, get some sweat out of you, you know, come down. We'll throw you in that box, and it'll work because it is warm, dead warm.
See, we went in there earlier to test the consoles, test the headsets, test the controllers, make sure everything was working fine. And I said this morning, after a few teams have played in here, it is going to be absolutely incredible.
I mean, I'm quite warm here. I don't want to know what they're like in the box that has no air.
They're in a confined space, no air. You've got four Xbox systems, 4 monitors.
4 people.
4 people, exactly. 5 people, including the admins.
Yeah, and if you had a coach in there, then it is really getting a bit close. But they can deal with it. They're teammates. They need to bond. Gonna get a bit closer with that coach as well. But we're just waiting on this game start up. It does seem as if we're going to have to actually restart it. It's going to be Search and Destroy on Octane.
Yep, Search and Destroy on Octane, followed by Blitz on Freight, Domination on Octane, and Search and Destroy on Freight, should it go all that way.
Just in case you missed the past 10 times we went through the map, but we are actually having a bit of a hardware issue, so we're going to just try and sort that out. Once again, I mean, looking at that first map, it was what we expected. I'm expecting a 3-0 here now. I wasn't sure, and I wasn't willing to predict before the game because, you know, nerves can get the best of players, but I think, you know, coming in this, everyone sort of expected Sublime to walk away with it. It's looking like they're going to now. Definitely had the better start. I'd say 3-0 now.
Okay, so you're going with a 3-0 turn. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to agree with you. It does happen from time to time. We share the same thoughts.
Yeah, a bit too much, if anything. But it does seem as if this game has actually started up once again. And yeah, I mean, it's apart from the little bit of delay that we had for other technical issues that we did have beyond our control, unfortunately. It's run pretty smoothly after that, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I mean, of course, the start of this game, we had to just sort out some home comforts for the team, a few of our studio lights were...
pretty bright.
Yeah, they are pretty bright.
At the end of the day, you know, there's a lot on the line. They don't want to really be risking anything. You don't want to be...
They want it to be as... So they've got no excuse, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
they know that
after the game, you can't go, well, the lights were too bright, that's why we lost.
Yeah.
or whatever that is in Italian. But you know, we're going to get this game anyway. We'll stop fooling around now. Search and Destroy on Octane is going to be the map.
Okay, so should we stick on board with the attacking side all the time, Tom? How do you want to do this?
Yeah, we'll mix it up if need be, but we'll go on board with the attacking team. Let's see if anybody's sniping, actually. I'll be interested to see. Don't think so. Look at you going to third person.
Oh, press
There you
Y.
go.
There we
Yeah,
go,
fine.
Gucci.
Oh yeah, we'll go with Mastery, and then in that case, let's see what he can do with this cross map. And here we go. Picks up the bomb actually as well. And has he actually changed his class, or did he? Yeah, he's got 2 weapons. Anyway, so here we go, sniper rifle in hand. Let's see what Mastery can do. Is try and pick anybody off from that top build. He's in top of the strip club, just looking towards gas. And I don't think anybody's going to be risky enough to pop his head out straight away. This is, however, the first round of the Search and Destroy.
No, the good thing about what Maestry's done here is he instantly pulled out the sniper, of course. That would give him the benefit of the long-range weapon
Very
across the map.
aggressive there by Colga, and 2 members of AK do go down. So there you go, straight away Sublime with the advantage. Colga and Remix for the killer piece.
Yeah, him getting shut down there just completely voided off my point. I was going to say that he had the secondary weapon in the submachine gun to actually compete with the close quarter combat should anybody rush him. But then, of course, he died, so that was unfortunate. But now, on board with Rambo, he's just made 1 kill, so now he's got a huge mountain to climb in the form of Colga, a Remix, and the Power. Colga and Power, of course, the 2 standout names from Italy. And unfortunately, unable to do so, getting shut down. So,
well, there you go. If you looked in the minimap in the top left corner, they were pretty much just controlling exactly where Rambo was. In and around the area he was in, and they were controlling all the entrances. So good work by him.
Yep, so we're going to go on board with the attacking team once again. That's going to be Sublime this time round. Let's have a look. Top fragger Colga, let's get on board with him. Looks if he's going to go aggressive in the early stages using that MTAR straight up top.
It's looking like it. That's a nice little route. You know, the game's still developing as well. We're going to see players with different routes. That's a nice little one I've seen from him. Oh, he's very aggressive. There's 1 kill. They're going to notice he's around this area. Very brave work by Colga. Getting chased down as well as good. Oh, Colga with a drop shot. Big kill by him with that MTAR there. Picked up 2 kills on himself. That's 4-0 for him. 1 minute remaining on the second round of Search and Destroy.
See, Colga pushed in very, very heavy ton, and he had the option. Once he got that first kill, did he advance or did he retreat? He opted to advance, and that was definitely the right decision. As soon as he realized there was nobody there waiting for him in the spawn, instantly flicked back, got that kill, and just tore in to Rambo and
This
Candy.
really throws it. Well, it did throw a spanner in the works until he died, because he was in and around their base, and they still have to defuse the bomb. I mean, you've got somebody behind you. You need to sort him out first, and it's the right thing that Mastery and IX have actually done. We're on board with Remix now, sitting below bottom apartments. The MTAR in hand just checking the bomb, and it's a very slow push over from
He's going to come head on head with somebody here. It looks as if there's going to be somebody. Oh, he's turned his back on him.
Just about missed him there, and not really much happening from Anarchy. They need to make a much quicker move, but Mastery is going to take him down there. Sublime Prebo coming in with a kill on IX though, and it does seem as if Mastery has a lot of work to do. Too late for him. The round is going to go to Sublime and pick himself up a couple of kills. That will help him. Yep, that's better than nothing. 2-1 now. So good work by him to get the kills, but not quick enough. That's going to be 2-0 now to Sublime.
Yep, 2-0 to Sublime, and Ton's prediction there of it going all Sublime's way is currently following suit. As we are going to get on board with Anarchy, see if they can pull themselves back into this. Currently 2-0 down in the Search and Destroy. Of course, it's first to 6, so still a long way to go in the Search and Destroy game, Ton.
Oh yeah, I mean, we can see teams go 5-0 up and then lose 6-5. It happens, you know, but at the moment, you would expect Sublime to walk away with this one. They've looked pretty solid all the way through this one, now on board with Rambo as they try and attack that B target.
Yeah, Rambo just getting into that nice little secure position. Of course, plenty of cover for him there, making sure that his body's not accessible by many of the Sublime roster, should they come around that corner to try and shoot him.
You know, Sublime know exactly what they're doing here. They're sitting back there just watching, because that's all they need to do. They see somebody pop in there, they see smoke there, they think, right, okay, we're just going to throw grenades on here, but at the same time, you've got to think, have Anarchy got the trophy systems down, but then you've got Power's actually going to go down. He's 0-1 at the moment with his bomb plant. So now 4v3 in the favor of Anarchy. Make that 4 versus 2. Colga, their main slayer, does go down. Is this going to be a round on the board for Anarchy? It does seem as if Candy towards bomb. Shot's going to go down. He does get taken out. Shot's coming back as well. And it does seem as if Rambo has made up that kill. So now it is 3 versus 1. Peebo has the work to do. He's in a great position to do something. Those bullets will not go through that tin, unfortunately, though. Peebo, he has some way to do. Bomb does go down. He does get taken out, though. And that is going to be a round on the board for Anarchy.
Yep, and now that is 2-1 to Sublime, narrowing that gap, and it was on the attacking team as well. Of course, Call of Duty as a standard in past games, we've always said that the attacking team was the harder one to win. They've done that. So can they take the positives from that? All they've got to do is hold on, win their defense, and they're straight back on that level playing field.
Yep, and it should be the defense that you are winning, essentially, especially on this map. I think defense is definitely a bit stronger, but once again, we are seeing the more favoured bomb site being B, of course. It's a lot less effort to get over. I mean, it's a lot less risk to get there, and once you're there, that's the risky moment. But we've seen somebody from Anarchy really push in here. That's going to be Rambo. Picked up the 2-piece as well. Fantastic work by him. AK trying to get back into this. Sublime power does take him down, though, but great work by Rambo.
Yeah, in true Rambo fashion there, pushing straight on in, picking up 2 kills. That's, of course, going to help his teammates out. Even though he did die, he managed to take down 2 of the Sublime roster before doing so.
Good work by him. It was definitely worth. So on board with power now. Just trying to have a look through the bus here. I don't think he's going to pick up anybody up in that area at the moment. And it does seem as if Anarchy have got somebody to his right-hand side as well. So they're in a bit of a precarious position here. On board with power definitely spots somebody. Not going to get any shots down though. He does get taken out by Candy. It's all down to Remix 1v3.
1 versus 3, and this is looking much better from Anarchy. They've seen a little bit shaky in the first 2 rounds there. They've held their defense this time round, turn 2 apiece now.
Yep, tight game coming into this S&D. You know, it did. Oh, that's a nice little spot. There you go. Nice shot there by Mastery with the MTAR from that range. Good work by him. Of course, the MTAR seems to be pretty much the universal weapon of choice.
It's normally either the MTAR, the Remington, or of course the L115, the sniper.
Yeah, and there we go. We're going to see the MTAR there, and we're going to jump on board with the attacking team when Gucci figures it out. There we go. On board with IX now with Remington and that.
Cheers for dropping me those hidden stuff.
On board with IX. Shot's going to go down from both teams now. 3 versus 3, and Peebo's going to come in there with a kill onto Rambo as well. IX and it is actually Mastery left alive, but now 2 versus 2. They've done well to get that back. Mastery shot's going to go down from him as well, and they've really cornered themselves where they are here next to Strip Club.
Yeah, they literally are cornered, as you've said to them. I mean, if we just bring up that minimap, they have got plenty of room to get out, but of course they don't really know that. They're just stuck in that corner, not wanting to risk too much, because of course, if one of them goes down, it's sort of curtains for the other.
Yeah, I mean, you know, being in a 2v2 situation, for me, basics of S&D, you need to stick together. It can be a bit risky, because if you both get caught with your pants down, then you know you're in a bit of a position where the enemy is going to take you both out. But at the same time, if you're both watching different ways and coordinating yourselves well, then you're going to pick up the kills. Oh, that's a hellish shot from Power. Takes out IX with the headshot there. Is he going to pick up the second as well? Onboard Master trying to get the kill there. He's going to pick up the kill onto Power. Still has the work to do. 17 seconds remaining. 1 versus 1. Could this be a turning around? Shot's going to go down though, and Peebo is going to take out Mastery.
Yeah, that was a good little position from Peebo there. Once again, using that advantageous cover.
Yeah, he just spotted him before Mastery even had a chance there. The Bison coming out of there.
See,
something that we haven't seen so much as the Bison. It's sort of come back in and out, but something I always like to talk about. You see the weapons change over the whole season.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
when we finish at the end of the season, so sort of August, September, October time, we'll be probably looking back thinking nobody even uses the Remington anymore.
Probably not though. It's an absolute cannon. So Mastery now picks up a kill with that Remington, taking out Peebo, grenade in hand. But I do understand what you're saying. You know, that can definitely happen.
It's like
that's a bad grenade.
Black Ops 2, you had the foul at the start for Call of Duty Champs, and then nobody used it at the end.
Yeah. But on board with Mastery now.
Let's get on
What
board
they
with
can
the
do here. I mean, yeah, we'll go on board with the attacking team here. And it is Sublime in the lead, 3-2 at the moment. Mastery's doing a good job. For AK though, I'm going to keep referring them to as that. It's much easier to say. On board with Kolga though, played very, very well at the beginning of the game. Picked up that nice 2-piece. I mean, fantastic work. Now Sublime in a bit of a position, make that now 2 versus 2 as Power and Kolga pick up 2 kills.
Yeah, somebody got a little bit too anxious there, trying to be a little bit too aggressive, in my opinion. I don't think you can.
In that 4v2 situation.
Yeah, you just need to sit tight. You don't need to be pushing, because now they've left it and let it go down to a 2 versus 2. And Power and Kolga, 2 of the most recognised Italian names in Call of Duty, are now facing up against Rambo and Ajax. Yeah. But with only 14 seconds left on this clock, can they do anything about it?
Kolga needs to get closer for me, because if the bomb carrier gets taken out here, he's in a bit of a bad position. Bomb does go down though, and here we go. Working well together. Ajax is going to take down Power though. Kolga not too close to get taken out. And we're going to stay on board with him, see what he can do from this position.
Yep, 1 versus 2, 30 seconds left on the clock. He's got to defend this bomb with all he can now, just trying to get around the back, making sure nobody's in a decent position to actually defuse that bomb.
He's done well, his movement has been
He's gonna
great.
get shot.
Oh my god, the player's literally touching. Great shot by Colga there, just takes him out on the bomb side, but the bomb is not going to be defended because Rambo is going to take him out. Bomb defuse coming in, has plenty of time. 3-3.
Neck and neck, Tony. Rounds being exchanged between the two teams constantly. Perhaps it's not going to be as dominant as we once thought.
Yeah, you know, I think AK got away with that one because I think the way they played it when they were 4v2 is just completely wrong, being far too aggressive. You know, you set up your positions, you watch the bombs. At the end of the day, if one player is going to be in one position, you do know the other is 9 times out of 10 he's going to be with them. So you've got to really just sort of concentrate on the bombs. All right, okay, guys, there's one here. Everyone sort of move over to that bomb precariously, though. But at the same time, didn't play it very well. And in the end, they did get it, but just by a little bit of luck.
Yeah, once again on board with Rambo here, currently 5-5 with a plan to his name. Not got the bomb in his hand this time round, though.
Yeah, they're being a bit too precarious here. I think they need to push on to be a bit quicker. Obviously, they have the roam of this. The Palmer blocks, but you have to be careful because somebody can push in there.
Once you've left it this long, I find it very, very hard for B to be the target bomb because, of course, you've let the Sublime roster set up so well. I mean, there's plenty of different positions on the map that they can get a good scope on towards that B bomb site. So it's one of those risky sort of strategies. Do you wait and hope that they rush you so that then you make it 4 versus 2 instantly, or do you leave it this long and then you sort of end up running out of time?
Yeah. With Rambo now. Shot's going to go down towards that central crate. Did he actually spot somebody there? I'm just looking at the map. There is somebody there. It does seem as if they're leaving it very, very late here. And they're trying to get a pick, and they're not going to get that. But Power is taking out Ajax with the Remnant. Shot's going to go down. Both players missing completely. I mean, Rambo did get a couple of hit markers. Nothing substantial, though. And they're just putting their feelers out a little bit too late, as we do see Sublime converging around that bomb site. That's now 1 versus 4. Is Rambo going to pull it off? He's going to be in a bad position to do it as he does get taken out by Power. Now 4-3.
Definitely not enough time on the clock for him to do that anyway. Turn 4-3, as you've just said. Sublime looking much stronger now as they do take the lead once again. They just need to continue this. They need to just hold and win this attack. How do you think they can play this turn? Do you think they're going to go aggressive?
Because they need to change something because they were far too precarious there.
It seemed to work for them in the first place when they went aggressive. And now they've sort of sat back a little bit and they're not winning as much.
They're definitely not winning.
They are. It's 4-3.
No, I thought you were on about AK.
No, I was on about
Ah, right, never mind. Anyway, on board with Sublime Power now. Trying to do some work with this MTAR. And you know what? They've done that right. They've getting inside B. They're getting some sort of control of these apartment buildings. They know there's not anybody there. They can now sort of think to set up. But it does seem as if, too, the AK players are really pushing in there now. I mean, trying to put their feelers out, trying to get a sort of judge of where Sublime are. Well, Power is going to be...
this is going to be close.
Yeah, there you go. Shot's going to go down. Power lost the bomb in a bad position.
Running there with the bomb.
Yeah, it's not a good idea because now People has to go out there, has to do some work. Does actually manage to clean up their remix, taking out somebody as well. So now it's a 3v2 situation in favor of Sublime, looking to try and get a 2-round lead.
Yeah, currently on board with the Remix, who is on a 3-kill streak as it stands. He's just providing the aerial cover around the back. As that bomb has gone down, it's up to Ajax and Maestri to do something about this.
It just looks like the sort of like, God, what do we do? You know, the bomb's down, but on board with Ajax now, trying to sort of do, you know, they need to really just go for it here. I think they're in a position where they're down in maps. Go for it, guys. It's over.
Make or break. He just needs to move around and have a look, seeing if he can find anybody underneath him. Doesn't even look like they've got enough time to be able to make a kill and defuse this now.
You see, this is the problem with going too slow like that. Yeah, he's completely missed somebody there. The round is definitely going to go to Sublime now. Colga's last man alive. Not going to happen. 1v1, and the round is going to go to Sublime. That's going to be 5-3 now. Oh, there's the kill. You know, that for me, that could be important. If you're Ajax there, stay alive, because the kills can count towards what round you get at 5-5.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, realistically, I think it's probably, well, the kills, if anything, are relatively tight, but you can't allow the enemy team to get another kill like that. If anything, it gives them a boost in confidence. So on board with Mastery now, and once again, look at the rush from Sublime here, running straight through the middle of the map. 1 kill going to go down. Mastery is going to take somebody out, really going to shut that rush down. That was Colga who got taken out. But, you know, That's the confidence of Sublime. They're just sprinting through the middle of the map thinking, nah, it's all right, we'll just take them. But on board with Mastery now. Grenades in hand. Trying to get somebody around that middle crate. Don't think he's going to pick anybody off with that one. Currently 3 versus 4 in favor of AK.
Yeah, Maestri currently top fragging for his team by quite some way. I mean, 3 kills more than the next player, Rambo, and double anybody else's. So here we go, on board with him.
Mastery with the Remington in hand, 3v3 at the moment. Got to spot somebody around the back, does get taken out by power with that MTAR. And now it is looking as if Sublime are just setting up around this B bomb site. They're checking around though, and it does seem as if Ajax is in a position to try and push towards A, but the bomb is all the way on the wrong side of the map. Shot's going to go down there. Should have given his teammate a shout. I will cover you, but did not happen. On board with Ajax now in a 1v2. Was a 1v3 situation. And it's not looking great for him. Great shot on what's there, not going to happen. That's going to be 6-3. That's going to be 2-0 to Sublime.
Yep, so 8-8-8 was the kills spread between Power, Peebo and Colgate. 5 for Remix. So good team effort there between them.
Mastery will be disappointed with that. 10-6 for him.
Rambo as well, going 7-8. He had a couple of good rushes.
The guys look pretty dejected there. I mean,
they look disheartened already.
Yeah,
there's still another map to go. The next map that we will be playing is Blitz on Freight. Perhaps, of course, they know that it's not going to go their way. So Blitz on Freight, that is going to be the very next map on this best of 5 series, guys. The Italian qualifiers here for European qualifiers, Call of Duty World Championships. We're going to go to a very quick commercial break and we'll be right back with Blitz on Freight. Welcome back to the European qualifiers for Call of Duty World Championships. We are currently spectating Sublime, who are 2-0 up against Anarchy in the Italian qualifiers, Tony.
Yeah, it's what we did predict. We did predict Sublime were going to go away with this one, and they have showed they are definitely the stronger of the 2 teams. But can Anarchy pull this back? I mean, we've seen it in the first game, you know. It was ridiculous. Orbit, 2-0 up, walk and telly, take a while. But they were just looking pretty good for it. Rain came back in there, 3-2. It can happen.
It can.
And, it makes for great games. It does.
It can. It's great Call of Duty. But did you see the way the teams looked there in that last camera shot after they'd lost that map? They looked so disheartened. It looked as if they'd had like a family trauma or something. It wasn't just as bad as we've lost a map of Call of Duty. It wasn't even as bad as we've lost the whole game. It was worse than that. They look so out of it. They look like they don't even believe. They've got to believe, Tony. They've got to believe they can do this to get themselves back into it. If you haven't got it here, you're not going to have it here.
You're all right.
I'm thinking about becoming a motivational speaker.
I think you should. We're just going to get into this game and forget that you just did that. Blitz on Freight is going to be the next map coming up. God damn it. Just waiting for this game starting up here now. 2-0 to Sublime is the score. Looking pretty convincing from them. Of course, this is the only Italian qualifier that we're going to see. Two best teams in it.
Of course, the winner does advance through to the Call of Duty World Championships in LA for a bite of that $1 million prize pool.
A potential bite.
A potential bite, of course.
It's a big bite. A lot of money. I mean, the last time round, even for come top 8, it was like $8,000.
Which, of course, some of these players did.
I'm not too sure of what the division is on this one, because last time around we did have the groups, and then we moved into knockouts. But it's going to be, as far as I'm aware, 16-team knockout.
Yeah, I think that's right.
16 team. No, not 16 teams. Sorry, there is multiple team. I'm pretty sure they're just doing knockouts for that, but we will find out, of course, when we do get to that. And now let's go into Blitz on Freight. Great map to watch, in my opinion. Back and forward so much. Probably my favorite Blitz map because there's so many different routes, but at the same time, it gets very, very tight when you get towards that point. There's a lot of different there's a lot of ways to go, but I mean, pre-spray is going through the wall. There's a lot of different ways to go, but when you get towards those bomb sites, it's very close quarters and can get very, very feisty around the bomb sites. On board with Remix now from Sublime. See what he can do.
Yeah, Remix instantly tracking back there, taking down one. Knows there's one ahead of him as well. So he's just going to push down, trying to get right around the back. Just trying to manipulate the spawns there a little bit. Catch them by surprise and get straight on in that.
He's just causing problems. That's all he's doing. He's gonna. Oh my God, the players. You know, he didn't need to shoot. He didn't need to shoot. He could have run in there and it would have been great. But now it's 1-1. 4 minutes and 15 remaining.
But oh, there we go. It's 2-1 now. That's to Sublime, of course.
And you know what they're doing great here? Oh, well, what he was doing great until he got taken out was holding down the capture site. So he's inside there, and it does seem as if it looks like AK is actually going to get another one on the board as well. Yeah, that's going to be 2-2 now. That's the thing with Bliss. If you don't defend well, if you don't coordinate your team well, you will lose points willy-nilly. But there we go, People with a very nice knife kill onto Ajax, trying to push up there. And you see, he's done this right because the rest of the Anarchy team, they know he's been knifed there, so they're pushing out, which doesn't make sense to me. But there you go, People is going to get the thing there.
And look at the Sublime domination down your bottom right there. Look at that kill feed, Tony. That was all Sublime. 4 of Anarchy all went down, and look at them just extend that lead now. 4-2. They've got themselves a little bit of breathing space, a little bit of a cushion, and now 5-2.
Yeah.
It's going to be a massacre.
Anarchy are just not coordinating themselves very well at all. You see, what I was talking about there is somebody got knifed inside one of their buildings around the bomb site, and 3 of them just pushed out and just left him. I mean, you've got to blame yourselves there. You've got to sort of think, okay, we'll drop back. Then we push out as soon as we get rid of it.
You're right, Candy, and he lets him get in that point again. Candy drops down. Let's see if Anarchy can actually get themselves back into this. Currently 6-2, on board with Maestri. He needs to push out. I know that they need to do some damage control. They need to stop it getting worse, but they also need to get some points on the board themselves. Yeah. It's pointless sitting back now, Tony, because they're already losing by 4. If they just trade, that's not going to get them anything. 5 points is the deficit now. This is not looking good.
At the same time, you keep losing points and kills, it's really going to put you back. It's sort of a precarious situation, you know. You don't know what you can do. I mean, Rambo, once again, only picking up 1 kill to his name. Ajax trying to defend there. Look, now they're defending. Now they're trying to push out. They spot somebody, then you've got to do something about it. There you go. Kills just went down at the back. Drop back. There you go. Now he's turned it around. Now he needs to think, right, okay, there's players around here. We need to defend, then we can push out. They're really being pushed in here, though, now, and they need, like, somebody to try and push out a little bit, but then they can't. It's such a hard situation to be in. Once you go down, it really puts you in a bad position. 8-5 now. 8-3,
Look at Peebo.
12-3.
You've got Rambo on Anarchy not having a great game, but speaking of great games, Peebo 13-3, 3 captures to his name, having an absolutely sublime game of Call of Duty.
Yeah, well, Rambo's just picked up a 2-piece for his name, and what they need is a good clump of kills. They need to sit back, think, right, okay, let's pick these off, push out, get some control, because at the minute, that is what they just do not have. Not even an ounce of control. They're trying to push out there now, and there you go. They're getting some control down that right-hand side. If they can push out, try and get a cap on this, try and set up some sort of control.
Yeah, look at Peebo just enjoying his Call of Duty there, just jumping around corners, challenging anything and everything, because he knows how this game's going for him. He really is thinking, this is probably the most important game of Call of Duty that he's played this year, certainly. And now they're really enjoying this game. Look at him, 18-4 Sublime, and now Kolga going to get himself in that point, 11-3. 1 minute left on this half-ton. What would your advice be to Anarchy? What can they do? How are they going to get themselves?
Everything you've been doing different. Because it's just not working in the minute. On board with Ajax now. He's going to get a point on the board for them. 11-4 now, 45 seconds coming up on the clock. It's looking pretty good for Sublime. They are 5 minutes away from securing their trip to LA. They're basically boarding the plane. The pilot has told them they're ready for takeoff.
Fasten your seatbelts.
On board with Ajax and center of the map now. And there's not really much they can do here. They can try and get some kills, try and get some points back on the board. And they're going in for it there now. Good kill by Ajax, good capture as well. They're not completely out of this. 7 points is... It's a pretty big difference, but it's not sort of completely out of it.
See, I know I've seen teams come back from much worse, so surely you have as well, because I think you've casted a bit more than me on this game, Ton. So if I've seen worse, surely you have, and we know that it's possible for these teams to get themselves back into this.
Yeah, well, they've got an uphill struggle, though. 7 points is going to be the deficit at the end there. They have 5 minutes to do something about it. Peebo, 21-8 with 3 captures to his name. On absolute fire here with it. That Bison is doing work.
Yeah, at such close range. I mean, he literally is that run and gun guy. He's making sure that he's in and around that capture point area at all times, just making sure that he is causing a nuisance to himself. And now, let's get on board with him. Let's watch him. Let's see how he starts this game. Surely the way he'll...
Just aggressive. Just being so aggressive. You need this one player that's going to run around there and it's sort of set up the point for you. You know, you're going to push in there, get a couple of kills. Right now, guys, push up, try and get some control of the map. Push in there. It's all about working together and making sure that your team are making the plays at the right time. And then when the team are making the plays in terms of kills, you push in there, trying to get points just like that. And trading points there. So still a 7-point deficit. Peebo, though, doing work here. That's fantastic by him. He's going to pick up one. Is he going to pick up the second? No, he's not. He's doing well, though. He's just setting it up. And he's creating pressure for his team. Good work by Ajax there. Does take out Peebo.
Important kills from Ajax there. Let's get on board with him. Let's see if Anarchy can do something about this. Currently trailing by 8 points?
Yeah, 8 points.
Why? 8 points, 4 minutes. It's getting to that risky zone where you nearly have to count teams out. And
9 points now. You know, you need to get some sort of relay going on here. At the minute, they are defending very, very hard. They need somebody to sort of push out there, start getting some kills, and it's just they cannot do it. Sublime are far too ahead of them at the moment, and I cannot see anything happening apart from a Sublime win.
No, it looks as if it is all Sublime, to be honest with you. I mean, let's get on board with Candy. Only one capture to his name. How's he going to try and penetrate through now? Oh, if he made that jump a little bit sooner, he might have landed on that point.
That's just his luck, though. That's the look of Anarchy at the minute.
That's the way it's going for them. It really isn't their game. And Kolga just doing enough to prevent any jump onto that capture point area.
Oh, good point now. That's going to be now 7-point difference. Did seem as if AK did manage to get a point on the board there. Now Kolga's going to push out because they know they're not pushing in. It does seem as if they're going to get another point straight away, though. That's a 6 is the deficit. They have brought it down from what they were at the halfway point, but they have left themselves not enough time. And a kill going down by Kolga and his teammate, who did take out Mastery there. Kolga trying to push, and then that's going to be a great kill if he makes it. Shots going all over the place. Good work by AK to try and defend that. You know, if they defend this and push this out, they could get another point on the board. Oh, nice kill by Rambo there. And then you got that, and that's going to enable them to push out, and they're going to have mid-map control. Yeah, Rambo really playing much better on this side from what he did on that first. Perhaps just needed to get into the rhythm of Blitz a little bit, but just getting shut down. 4 down for Anarchy there. Candy first alive, needs to get himself back over towards that capture point area to prevent any advances, but unable to do so just a little bit too late. 7 points is the deficit. Once again, 2 minutes 40 left on that clock. This is definitely looking like it's going to be Sublimes, and Sublimes at 3 now. Candy just leaving that player there. He did think he was going to get taken out on board with Candy. Now they're just trying to push out, trying to push up there for his team. And he's going to have to deal with 2 members of Sublime unless he just runs through the teleport and goes right back to his base. Done well there, but they're going to get another point on the board. Sublime, that's a 7-point lead still with 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. I've only just looked at Peebo's score for this half tonight. Good look at that. 29 and 14 with 3 captures. You know, as I said, he's doing the right thing. He's pushing up there, causing problems, getting kills, setting up for his team to run in there. Kolga's doing a great job. He's sitting just behind him. He's coming in behind him. Peebo's getting the kills, holding him down, and Kolga's just going to waddle that Bison into the really is tearing up at close range. Well. Really is working hard for him, and now he's going to push up right round the back once again. Looks as if he's going to get another capture to his name, unless he's just going to cause a nuisance of himself. Doesn't see anybody, knows that they need to be going all out aggressive, so know that Anarchy aren't going to be defending too hard. Those points did just get exchanged. 29 to 15 currently Peebo's score. It does seem as if Master is going to get taken down around the bomb site, and Kolga is just going to clean up there. 1 minute and 30 seconds away from, which is now looking like a guaranteed trip to LA. In my books, it is not quite impossible yet for AK to catch up, so Sublime need to hold out for pretty much another 20 seconds or so, or get another capture, and they are going to LA on board with Power now. Let's see if they can hold this out, and I imagine they're going to. Power with the MTAR mid-map. It's looking good for them now. In my head, I would say that is over. That is it, Tony. It looks as if Sublime have qualified for Call of Duty World Championships in LA at the end of March. Just, what, 3-4 weeks away, and they will be in LA competing for $1 million. And they deserve it here. You know, we're going to watch out the rest of this game. Power playing fantastically well. Look at that scoreboard. Peebo 32 and 18. Kolga 20 and 15. Power 20 and 17. Remix 18 and 20. Captures on the board all around for them. 30 seconds remaining. It is not going to matter now. and it does seem as if Sublime are going to LA.
Yeah, Sublime. They played absolutely fantastic, Tony, to be fair to them. I mean, domination, it took them a little while to get going, perhaps a little bit of nerves, shaky hands, getting into the rhythm a little bit, but ever since then, it's been plain sailing for them. Search and Destroy, fairly convincing, started off strong, just continued all the way through, and this Blitz, it hasn't really been much of a contest. Anarchy didn't put up too much of a fight. We spoke before this map. Did we think that they already looked dejected? They looked as if they'd already lost.
Yeah, well, there you go. The clock is going to go down. The map is going to go to Sublime. They go through to LA, to the World Championships. Potential $400,000 is the winning prize pool. I mean, fantastic work by them. We said we think they're going to walk away with it. Look at that scoreboard, man. Fantastic work by them. Great play.
Peebo, standout
Peebo,
player. I mean,
yeah,
you always talk
every
about
map.
You always talk about Colga and Power. When you talk Italian teams, you think Colga, Power. Where's Peebo been? Peebo is that name to think about.
I want Donny back. Where's Donny? We need more Donny. But anyway, there you go. Peebo playing fantastically well for them. But we're going to throw it back to the studio with the analysts to talk over that game. A great game there. Good work by Sublime. Over at the analysts.
So yes, we're back here with our team of analysts. Right, talk us through what just happened.
Well, what we just witnessed there was pretty much a one-sided show, I think, unfortunately to say. I mean, the guys played unbelievably well. I think a lot of it came down to the decision-making and in the individual play. We saw times on domination where there were certain players not really, helping their team. Yeah. Unfortunately, it could be various factors coming to a land with such big expectations and so much on the line. And then there's just, for me personally, there's a lot of bad decision-making all round, really. Sorry.
It's a lot of pressure, but also obviously like Sublime were the faves, and then you sort of come in, and then if you're Anarchy, then you've got a lot of that pressure on your shoulders, and then you're like, I don't know, it's tough, right?
Yeah, I mean, watching the game, there was a few people, like Zach said, that didn't really do particularly well. Sorry to do it, but Rambo had a bit of a kind of bad start to the second half of domination. I think he was 1-11 for the first 4 minutes, so he's not really doing anything for his team there at all, to be honest. That's probably what cost him the first map. The second map, I looked and said that AKA weren't really doing objective work, they were just looking for kills, so again they weren't really doing much. And when it came down to the last map, you're always looking for one player to just go off, and Peebo I think finished 32-20, so he just went off the team and won the map.
Does strategy kind of just go out the window sometimes just in the heat of it?
Yeah, so it's all about making the right decisions at the right time. Like in the first map, there were certain plays by Colga in particular when he was just making the opposite team take back to his home flag, like just wasting time because they knew they had the lead and the other team had to make the plays. In the S&D, as I said, AK weren't actually playing the objective. Like there were certain situations where they could have went for the bomb but decided to go for the kills. The Blitz was just, when you have one player go off, like Blitz is such a game mode where it can just turn straight away, and Peebo went 32-20 as Scott said, so it's always going to go to Sublime.
I mean, how much pressure is it, do you reckon, being on a stage to, comparing to play at home?
Zach can probably answer it because he's been
sweaty
there, done
hands,
that.
right? Sweaty hands must come into play.
It does, honestly. There's so many key factors because you're trying to concentrate on your game. There's so much on the line at stake, and then you, at the back of your mind, if let's say if you make a mistake, unfortunately you get turned on. People say forget about it, all sports, forget about it, chin up, everything. No, it's in the back of your mind, unfortunately.
Yeah, especially in these occasions as well. Yeah. I mean, when you're playing for this kind of opportunity, your hands are sweating, you're looking at the crowd, that one mistake, you're not getting on the plane.
Right, so let's talk about the next match. So we've got newcomers, Lightning Pandas, with the cutest little logo ever. Isn't it lovely? I'm going against Analyst. What's your call on this one?
Again, it's the call that we made previous game. Shane, he's got stats of his own. He's never not qualified for a major tournament.
Yeah. Do you think he'll just force it to happen no matter what?
He always finds a way. I mean, Necrome is such a good player. He's come through the ranks of previous Call of Duty titles. He's always been there. He did take a hiatus for a while, but I mean, they're my team to go through.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be down to experience, I think, and Ben, who's Necrome and Shane are just going to have that all, and I think it'll just shine through and it'll be 3-0, to be honest.
Yeah? Oh.
Yeah, as everyone said, I reckon it'll be a swift 3-0 to Scott, the Lightning Pandas. Shane's been there every big tournament. He'll be able to give them experience and just guide them through.
I mean, I think it's quite interesting, aside from the actual skill involved, that, they're going for such a cute logo. Do you think that's to intimidate the other team into just sort of a dewy-eyed failure?
It's almost like reverse psychology, isn't it? Like,
That was definitely Shane.
It's Shane written all over, and it's definitely reverse psychology, I believe. It's such a cute, innocent logo, but then really the team behind it is just the complete opposite, I reckon. So yeah, I completely agree with you there.
Like the kind of Puss in Boots, like.
Yeah, I mean, the only real thing I can see maybe standing in the way here is probably communication. Because I think the other teams all from the same place can all speak the same language. Shane and Ben obviously can't speak Swiss and Austrian, and I'm sure they can speak English, but it's maybe a little bit of a problem. So if anything's going to be a problem, I think it'll be communication.
Well, I think we're going to go and see now and actually take it over there. Yes, so we're going to get Chewy and Rel. Let's take over to the casters now and let's see how this goes. Cute team aside.
Hello and welcome back to the European Championship Regionals. I am on the main stage joined by Chewy, and yes, we are continuing in this tournament now. Very excited for this next game. We've been discussing them a little bit, and it's quite interesting to see Shane and Necrome actually teaming up in the rest of Europe and Russian sector.
Yeah, it is indeed, of course, formidable forces throughout the European community. Everybody who's involved with European Call of Duty knows of Shane and knows of Necrome as well, so it'll be really interesting to see. Mac talked a little bit about the communication issues which may happen, whether that's going to affect any of their plays. We are about to find out. Of course, Shane, a player on that Epsilon squad for a while, he did place 4th at Call of Duty XP a couple of years ago. And, more recently, he actually played an event, Skyland with Epsilon, and didn't drop a single map throughout the entire tournament. That's quite an achievement, Ralph.
Absolutely, and he's already tasted the success of Call of Duty Championships featuring last time as well. So he's going to be a key to the success of Lightning Pandas if they can win this series. But what we've got to consider is, sure, we don't know too much about Analyst LA, but they are this unknown entity. I mean, they could be unpredictable. Lightning Pandas won't really know how to deal with that.
Yeah, indeed. We will have to see. Of course, this may be one of the first times that these two squads are facing up against each other. Let's just run through the rosters for you guys. So first off, on the Lightning Pandas squad, we have the 2 players that we've already mentioned, Shane and Necrome. Also joining them will be Random and Z Ramba, I do believe. Those are both Swiss and Austrian players. Then heading over to Analyst.LA, we have Ruston, Schwartz, Rusick, and Neki7 as well. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting match. Relatively new faces to the scene in some senses for me anyway, and I'm looking forward. Hopefully it'll be a good match. Some of the guys backstage did predict that it was going to be a swift 3-0, but I want to see another game like that Nordic game which you were so lucky to cast over.
It was brilliant. Yeah, it was a fantastic series to kick things off. And actually looking at the maps that are going to be played throughout this series, interestingly there's 2 Octanes and 2 Freights that are going to feature there. Now Octane was completely absent from the first game I casted, so it's going to be nice to see a bit of variety there for myself, but did just feature in that previous game where we saw Sublime advance with that 3-0 sweep.
Indeed, yeah. So we are going to be starting off with Domination on Octane, then heading to Search and Destroy. We will be heading back to Freight, again, the map that you casted so much earlier on this morning. Then for Blitz, we will be going back to Octane. After that, Domination will be on the map Freight. Finally, Search and Destroy on the map Warhawk. So slightly changing things up at the end there. We will see if we do go to a map 5, but we are just waiting for everybody to get in. We are on a tight schedule here at Twickenham Stadium, making sure that we can bring you all of the Call of Duty action from the best in Europe this weekend. Of course, we have best of 5 series for every single team in attendance here today. If they win that best of 5 series, 3 single good maps on LAN here today, and you are on that free trip to LA, Rel.
Absolutely, and let's not forget that will also grant them entry into the €15,000 competition that's going to be taking place tomorrow, which also works as a seeding point basis for the trip to LA that they have qualified for.
Yep, indeed, and of course, because there are 16 teams, and to make sure that the bracket works well and works properly, the top 3 teams, which will be based on seeding points, pro points, will be getting a bye in that first round. So, of course, that's an important thing. Lots of online tournaments happening over the past few months, and every single point does count. Having a look at how close some of those pro points are, it really does come down to it. And it works, because then you come to a LAN environment like this. Of course, if those players do qualify through that you would expect to, maybe like the likes of Epsilon, TCM, that's going to really play dividends to them tomorrow if they do head into the championship bracket for the European Championships with that, initial goal of €15,000. And, I was thinking about it this other day. Not only have you bagged yourself a free trip to LA, but that's just a great, some spending money there. €15,000 to go and spend in LA. I don't think anybody would be complaining about that.
Definitely, you could go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But, one other thing that I'd like to talk about is really the games that are going to be coming up later this afternoon. I think you were mentioning the Tech Aware one. What I'm looking forward to is the TYT and Orbit game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really close one.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough to call as well, because I think TYT, they've kind of flown under the radar for quite a while now, but they've really been proving themselves as of late. But they're going up against Orbit, previously Insidia, who did get a lot of stick for being maybe online players. So it's going to be, you know, will they be able to perform on LAN? That's the question.
I mean, this is a completely different environment to which a lot of players have played in before. Of course, we do have soundproof booths right next to us, either side of us here in the casting booth right now. And, you know, it just completely takes a different level to that atmosphere for it. We cannot hear what they're saying inside the booths. They cannot hear anything anybody else is saying. And it kind of takes away some of that mental game which some players not rely on, but try and use to their advantage to, you know, really intimidate maybe some other players. It takes that advantage, some people may call it, away, completely concentrates on your own game. You're in your own little box, literally, as well. So it will be really interesting to see how teams do handle that. Obviously, we did see a 2-0 comeback to lead 3-2 at the end from Rainmix earlier, the first game of the day, which was just a phenomenal series. And I do believe that 2 of those players, as you said, had never actually played on LAN before.
I'll be honest with you, I actually got that a little bit mixed up.
Okay.
So I'm just going to hold my hands up there. That's not entirely true. I got them confused with another team. But, you know, they are fairly new to the LAN environment, so to speak. And, you know, they've obviously proven themselves on this huge scale and performing really well as a result.
Yep, indeed. So anyway, just whilst we make sure that the game gets set up and we can get into the game as quick as possible, of course, all the teams have been warming up on the side station just to the left of us off stage, making sure that they can get everything ready. And now they will just be getting their classes set. And then we will be heading on to the first map, which, as we mentioned just a tiny bit earlier on, will be domination on the map Octane. Now, let's talk about this map very quickly, just see what we think. What do you think about the map Octane then, Mel?
Well, obviously the B flag, very central in a very open space. And much like Frey, it's one of them maps where when you get that B flag, it's very hard for the other team to actually reclaim it back if you set up correctly. So, you know, sometimes the deciding factor of the game can be who can capture that middle flag first.
Yeah, indeed. And it's one of those that they're going to be looking for that map control. We talk about map control quite a lot as casters and as, you know, the analysts will do backstage as well for you all during this weekend's competition. And yeah, map control on domination is such a key element to the game, making sure that you've got that slaying power there with those ARs, making sure that nobody's going to be pushing onto those flags. And then also you have your uses like your special grenades, your smoke grenades, making sure that you've got that cover to try and get hold of that B flag. But we may see some interesting plays. I mean, it's quite a long map, Octane. It's really one of the interesting ones in the rotation, I feel. I certainly love it. But, you know, I like seeing people being a bit sneaky, going on those flags, making their way through the pawn shop and everything, and just trying to be a bit sneaky around. I mean, you do see that quite a lot on Blitz nowadays, but sometimes people really try and take pressure off that B flag by going for the enemy flag as well.
Well, this is it, and this is the thing I love about Call of Duty, is that there's a counter for everything. So, you know, you'll see smoke grenades going down, but they'll be countered by the thermal scopes. You've just got to factor in everything here. I mean, the B flag, it's going to be heavily contested at all points. You'll probably see teams trying to sweep round to A or C, but because, you know, the spawns rotate, they're often reclaimed quite quickly. You won't see a team holding on to just A and C for very long.
Nope, you won't indeed. Another point about the teams that we've actually been playing, of course, as casters have been doing lots of research, lots of preparation for this event, making sure that we do bring you the best action. We talked a tiny bit about Shane earlier on, but Necrome, you know, he's incredibly, you know, proficient and he knows the game very, very well. But this is actually his first international event. I mean, it's still technically classed as London, so it is his home nation, but still lots of different teams competing here. And of course, he is in the rest of Europe and Russian qualifier. So it's really interesting to see that this is his first international event, one which has been known throughout the community for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them things. He has competed at LAN events before, of course, and placed very well at a recent EGL, actually. But he's one of these players that kind of disappeared. You know, he was a top competitor, then took a long hiatus, and he's now come back strong. It's one of them things that sometimes argued. Some players, it takes them a while to actually get good at a game, but some people do just have this natural ability to pick up the controller and be able to play, and I think he's one of them players.
Yep, I do agree, indeed. So it'll be interesting if that experience brought in from Shane and Necrome is really the factor which carries the Lightning Pandas. I have to say, I love that name. I think that's my favourite name so far. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that experience alone can carry them through or what is quite going on. So guys, just to mention what's going on right now, we're just making sure that everything gets set up in the lobbies, making sure that everybody is happy and ready to go, and then we will be able to bring you all of the action from this rest of Europe and Russian qualifier. And of course, well, you know, so many different nations competing here. We've got the UK, Republic of Ireland, Spain, France, Italy, Germany, and, you know, all of the Nordic qualifiers, Benelux, absolutely everywhere that you can possibly think of is pretty much here. And it is great, I have to say, to see all of these people in one room together, you know, enjoying a good weekend of Call of Duty action.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's the best of the best. And one of the things that I love about this actual process in order to find the best teams in Europe to go and represent the home countries in LA at the World Championships is the fact that it's a long process. It's slowly being narrowed down and down and down, and just finding the best team. So it's been done very fairly, and I think it's been great so far. We really are getting the creme de la creme.
Oh yeah, that's a very good term to put it. I totally agree there. And although we did just see a 3-0 series there in that last game, that was the likes of Kolga there, who placed so well last year at COD Champs, I do believe. So you would expect them maybe to hit that series, and with that, I do keep referring to it, but it was just such a phenomenal series this morning, and that's the kind of action which we do hope for all day. So of course, some people would predict, again, the analysts predict that it's going to be a quick game and that Shane and the Chrome's team of the Lightning Pandas are going to be able to progress through, but you never know. This is a completely different environment to playing at home, so we will just have to see as soon as these games get started up.
Well, this is it. I mean, in a way, I do completely agree with the analysts, because I don't know that much about Analyst LA. I mean, we've not seen them too much in the scene. It's obviously featuring 2 Russian players, the Northern Irish player in there. And, we don't know too much about the Russian scene. We're heavily focused on Europe, but obviously we know a lot about the likes of Shane and what he's achieved in his past successes. And if that's anything to go off, then you can see this being a 3-0 sweep. Yeah, indeed, you definitely can. But guys, as we do say, we're just making sure that everything can get set up and get ready. We'll just run through the maps very quickly if you are just joining us here, and we will let you know what's going on. So for this rest of Europe and Russian qualifier, we are going to be starting on Domination Octane. We quickly discussed that map on Domination earlier on. Then we will be heading to Search and Destroy Freight. Moving on to Blitz Octane for the 3rd map. If we do go to a 4th map, it will be Domination Freight, and then finally it could come all down to Search and Destroy on Warhawk. Now we'll talk a bit about Search and Destroy later on, just before the game starts up. But there's a saying in the community that Search and Destroy wins you Call of Duty games, and I just love how it's the final map of the best of 5 series, and it really is one of those absolute nail biters, that game mode. Absolutely, because it can go down to that final round, which decides everything if it goes to the 5-5 tie, and it's crippling for the team that loses, but such an insane moment for the team that actually does take it. It's going to be great, and I mean, I love the veto system that's actually in place here, because it allows the teams to exclude the maps that they don't prefer. So there's no complaints with regards to that. It's as fair as it can be, and it's just a brilliant platform for a competitive tournament. Yeah, it is indeed. And I believe seeing on Twitter the other day that we talked about TYT very quickly earlier on, one of the UK teams competing just a little later on in the schedule, and they were actually incredibly happy because they've been able to get their favourite maps. But anyway, we will talk about that later on. It looks like the game is starting up, so here we go. We're going to be jumping on board with the action as soon as possible. If you are just joining us here on mlg.tv/Gfinity, this is Lightning Pandas going up against Analyst.LA in the rest of Europe and Russian qualifier. Game just loading up now, making sure that we can get everybody involved, starting off on Domination Octane. Now, Rel, we talked about it a bit earlier on. It's going to be really interesting to see who gets that initial map control. Yep, it's the early push. I mean, sometimes you will see a team take it, but then lose it very quickly. Yeah. But, the first minute of the domination game can almost be the decisive minute, I suppose. But let's get on board with the Ghost and see what is going on. I mean, is there any... we need to go on Spectator, of course. Is there any particular player that you do want to go ahead and watch here, Jimmy? Well, we've been talking about him a lot, and I think it's going to be very difficult to keep some of the action away from him. So as soon as he spawns in, we are going to be having to jump on board with Shane. And already there he is, the man on board with your screen there. All of the players just joining in, making sure that they can get onto the right teams. There we go. Looks like we've got all 4 players on each team. Ghost versus Federation. Lightning Pandas are going to be your Ghost squad. Analyst.LA are going to be your Federation squad. And here we go. Shane is on the sticks. There we go. So the early push, you can see, I believe it's actually Shane and Necrome who are breaching out very early. Smokes do go down, but you can see straight away there the thermal snipe is going to benefit Lightning Pandas as Shane and Ramba do pick up 2 kills. Yeah, that's 3 initially down there for Analyst.LA. We talked about that initial map control, and it looks like the guys from Lightning Pandas did get that good start. Necrome here using that thermal scope. Is he going to be able to push through? Oh. Gets 1 kill there. Unfortunately, didn't pick up the second one. I believe he may have got the assist, but this is looking good so far. Still on board with Necrome. He does move up to the top of this window here. 4 minutes, 25 seconds left on the clock. Just stopping for a few seconds. We'll switch over to Shane, making sure that we keep up with all the action, laying down that trophy system. Let's see what he's using. And he's using an interesting choice here on this MTAR, Rel. He's using a silencer. Yeah, not something that you'll see all that much, but hey, if it works for him, then why not? Yep. They do have B and C control, and you can just see Shane is one of these players that he just runs around wreaking havoc on the battlefield. See what's going on for Ramba and Random, though. 2 of the players that we haven't really talked about all that much. No, we haven't indeed. Again, quite new players to us in some senses, as unfortunately he does get taken out there. He's 4 and 3 at the second, so we will switch on board with Random, another new player for us, using this LMG right now. He's got another thermal scope on there. Does manage to pick up that headshot down to Swartz. Unfortunately, does get taken out as soon as that. Having a look at the scores, Lightning Pandas with that early lead, 26-14, with 3 minutes, 37 seconds left on the clock. LP opening up strong, but losing both of their flanks that they do have in control. Ramba's gonna need to make this kill, which he does, but C does go into a neutral position. Should be able to capture this fairly quickly. I don't believe there's anyone that's going to be contesting this.
No, it doesn't look like that indeed. So he's going to be jumping on top of there as well. Actually looks like he does get taken out, so I'm not sure if that happened. That's 3 momentarily down there for Lightning Pandas. Not what they needed at this stage. They have got that early start, as you can see at the scoreboard right at the top of your screen. Of course, we are using the brilliant broadcaster mode which Infinity Ward introduced for us to be able to use and make all of the action very visible for you. And you can see on that mini-map there on the left-hand side of your screen just who we're jumping on board with, which is actually going to be Ruston here for Analyst.LA. See if he's going to be able to capture this flag here on 2A.
Yeah, well, I've expanded that mini-map there because it'll give some great coverage and you can kind of see how the teams are pushing and working together.
Yeah.
Still on board with Ruston, who is going to get shut down. You can see them just trying to collect those home flags because B is just out of their reach at the moment.
Yep, it is indeed. 37-27 is the score, so a 10-point deficit here, just about in the halfway mark in the first half. Of course, if you are new to competitive Call of Duty, this is domination, and the basic objective is to control the most amount of flags on the map as possible, and control them for the longest amount of time as well. And just to make sure that everything is fair, you play it in 5-minute halves, and then after the first half, you do switch onto the second half and spawn at the other end of the map, basically, so that everybody has a fair shout. But here we go, on board with Gunrise right now. It's going to be the man on your screen. He's actually changed his gamer tag to what is in my caster notes right now, but we'll make sure that we know who that player is. Still the man on your screen, moving up towards top pawn here. Going to try and get on the roof. Fails very quickly with the jump. Does spot a player behind him. I believe he must have heard him. Still not decided to go for that kill. Putting some shots down. Unfortunately, isn't able to pick up anybody there. Backs away from it, and he's just managed to escape that with his life.
And I just feel that Analysis are almost not flag focused at the moment. They seem to be hunting for the kills before they go for it, but those points are just slipping away. I'm actually going to switch back over to the Lightning Pandas. Do go on board with Random, who gets shut down as soon as I do, simply because we can actually see Random and Ramba top fragging for their team. A little bit surprising, you could say.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the thing. Relatively unknown players to me and Rel here, and maybe some others in the scene. You would expect that Necrome and Shane would be doing the top work, but still, great work coming in here from the Lightning Pandas. They are all putting in a good shift in this first half of domination. Octane, the score is 67-40 here. Just about 1 minute left on the clock, or so not long left, as we do see that garage, that petrol area there, completely falling down on top of them. Another great feature of the map here on Octane that can be done. Here we go, Necrome, the man on your screen, going to pull out that Remington R5. See what work he can do with it, heading over towards this A flag.
And there we go, Shane's actually gone for the push and trying to get that capture on it as well, as we just see him now holding down, looking at those spawns. He knows exactly where the enemy team's going to be coming from. Great reader of the game is Shane, and there we go. A does fall into control of Lightning Pandas.
Yep, it does indeed. Shane's still the man on his screen. He is going to find somebody there towards the middle of the map, put some hit markers down, does get the assist. He's going to be moving over towards B now. It is in control of him and the rest of his squad, so he's not going to worry too much about it. Moving his way back. It looks like they are going to be losing A, so he needs to make his way through there, making his way through the bottom of this room right now. He's going to be able to spot that player there. Yes, he does. Gets the kill. It was neutralized. He's going to jump straight on it though, and that's a lovely kill there from Shane, just showing why he's one of the best in Europe.
Big play there, and he does manage to capture that back. There was a trophy system defending him as well there, and it just seems like Lightning Pandas have this map locked down. I mean, a quick glance over to that scoreboard, you can see every single one of the Analyst players going negative there, some by significant margins as well, and Lightning Pandas are just running riot. There just seems to be no answer to this.
Yep, indeed. 12 seconds left on the clock. 96-51 is your score, so Lightning Pandas exactly the start that they wanted here, just what they were hoping to do, and exactly the start that they need to be able to get themselves that one step closer to that free trip to LA. Random just reloading his MLG right now, his LMG. 99-53 is the score, and that is going to be a 46-point difference in that first half there, and that's going to be a real big deficit for the Analyst squad to come back into.
Oh, absolutely, and I want to watch a bit more of Analyst when we go into this second side, because we didn't give them too much coverage, but now that the pressure's on them to actually pull this back, they're going to have to be aggressive, they're going to have to go for them big pushes and take some chances. Lightning Pandas could just sit back and hold out, try and get a draw, which is what we've seen previously in some games. I don't think that's how they're going to play it, but, we'll soon find out.
Yeah, we will indeed. So there we go. That was the first map there, which was in favour of the Lightning Pandas, as we just head into the second half of that map. 5 minutes gone, 5 minutes left to go. 46 points now. Rel, if you were a player, if you were sat there on that Analyst squad and you had 46 points to come back to, what would you be doing right now? What would be running through your mind?
Well, if I was a player, I'd probably just lose, so I wouldn't even be trying. But, if I was on their level, it would be simply a case of knowing that I'd have to push for the 3 cap. I mean, it's not a necessity, but I think in order for them to get a good footing into this game, they're going to have to take that risk. They're going to have to just go for it and try and dominate, because even if it's just for a little amount of time, not only are you securing all 3 flags and getting all those points, but you're preventing the other team from getting them as well.
Yeah, that's such an important part. And of course, great thing about Ghost as well is that you can actually neutralize the flags on domination now, which is, you know, actually becoming quite an essential role in competitive Call of Duty. You see that time and time again where people may not actually go for the triple cap, but just simply go for the neutralization as well as that 2 cap, which they already have. So we will see if Lightning Pandas are going to be able to extend their lead, or whether we are going to see one of the craziest comebacks I think I've seen on domination, actually. And it's going to be heading up now in the second half of domination. Again, just loading up the map. And so we will just see what's going on, making sure that everybody can get in. It's just loading up. And there we go.
All right, so let's jump straight into this game. I'm just going to bring up some features on the screen now for you guys to have a quick glance at as well. And there we go. We just want you guys to start tweeting through and voting for your favorite team. Tweet with hashtag Team Pandas or hashtag Team Analysis to let us know who you guys want to win back home. We'd be interested to hear your thoughts, and we'll be getting some feedback on that later as well. So as I say, we want to cover a bit of analysts here and see what they're able to do. I'm struggling to say that, Chewy.
Yeah, I know. It's a difficult one. We've been struggling to find out the correct way to pronounce that, but I think we're doing a good job, Rel, and here we go. On to the second half of domination. Of course, that 46-point deficit is what they've got to do, so we will see if they're really going to come out strong here, or whether they've just almost given up on this first map. I really hope they don't, because we want top Call of Duty action coming your entire way throughout this whole weekend here at Twickenham Stadium in London. Here we go. Schwartz is the man on your screen right now. Smoke grenades going down there towards B, so he's going to try and get an actual grenade down there, making sure that nobody's going to be pushing over towards that B flag. Try and be sneaky. He's taking some shots, does get taken down there. I believe that was random who took him out. Have a look at this push here from Ruston. It looks like C's being lost, so he's got to push back there, and unfortunately he's unable to get that kill.
Yeah, and something you actually mentioned before about the neutralization of flags, as you say, it has become a key part now of domination on Ghost, because what you'll often see is a lone wolf going for one of the home base flags, and they'll neutralize it and then get off it and try and get the kills before carrying on. It's almost like a midway point for them to capture.
Yeah, it is indeed, but Ruston, the man on your screen at the second, he's going to find somebody in the middle of the map there. Did just pick up a kill as we jumped on board with him. Picks up some hit markers towards the middle. Unfortunately does get taken out there by a lovely placed nade there from Rambo, I believe that was. Gunwise managing to pick up 1 kill, and Tiom Slayer, another one there. Here we go. Schwartz is once again the man on the screen, trying to get some shots down towards the middle of the map. Unfortunately, not going to happen. And Rel, having a look at that scoreline, it's 17-6. Not the start that Analyst needed.
Not at all. I mean, they really needed to get a good foot into this game in the second half, and it's not happened for them. But there is still plenty of time if they want to bring this back. It's going to take some big plays, and Schwartz is trying to do that now. He's on that C flag. There isn't really anyone that's going to be contesting him now. If I just expand the minimap there, he's neutralized it. This is what we were talking about, and he didn't go for the full capture.
No, he didn't indeed. Schwartz, unfortunately, not able to drop a kill so far in the game, so he definitely needs to try and make sure that he can support the rest of his squad who are going to try and come back into this. But, you know, it's really difficult. They've got just over 3 minutes left on the clock. They're already in a deficit in this second half, let alone the deficit which unfortunately racked up on the other side for them in the first half. So again, this is just really showing the dominance which comes in from the likes of Necrome and Shane here, players who you would expect to be seen doing very well, as Ramba picks up the 2-piece, Random picking up the 3rd there kill. That's 3 momentarily down for the guys over on Analyst, and yeah, you have to say this is definitely going to go in the Lightning Pandas way, Rel, I'm afraid.
Absolutely, because what Lightning Pandas are doing here, they're confident in their approach to this domination on Octane. They're not holding out for the draw, they're not sitting tight with that, they're just extending their lead, and they're doing it oh so well.
Yeah, they are indeed. So Random still the man on your screen right now. Going to switch over to Shane though. Switch back on board with the Lightning Pandas. It is very difficult to step away from these guys. They are playing so well here on this first map. Obviously not really having any first map land nerves, and that's exactly what you'd expect. Shane just having a bit of fun there with his MTAR after getting that kill there onto Tiom Slayer. He's just trying to, you know, that's intimidation right there, isn't it, Rel? We have to say.
Yeah, he's one of those players that will try and invoke those mind games into the other team's booth, as it were. But I think this game is going to be LPs for the taking anyway. Yeah. We are going to see a bit more of Analysts, see if they can pull something out of this. And, you know, that B flag has been neutralized. That's what we're talking about. Neutralize it, pop off, try and get a kill, but unable to actually get the capture.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is beyond them now. Have a look at this deficit. 55-27 is the score with 1 minute 55 seconds left on the clock. Schwartz is able to pick up a kill there. He's going to head on to it. He's on a 3 scores. Now the second is, oh, I think that was his teammate who actually managed to pick up that kill right next to him. He was going to die there, I believe. I think he missed quite a few shots, but here we go. This is definitely going in LP's favor, as you do you say, Rel, heading into the last few minutes. And that's exactly the start that they wanted. You know, we talked about how we could be heading to Search and Destroy next, but we will have to see if the guys from Analyst are going to be able to come back into this or what's going to happen.
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, we talk about this, it's almost an obvious thing to say, but Domination, it's completely different to Search and Destroy.
Yeah.
There's almost no relation to it. So you'll often see some teams that are arguably Search and Destroy warriors, I think is the term that's thrown about. So with the, as we say, Analyst being this unknown entity, let's see if they can switch things up when we move on to that game mode.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see which is their favourite game mode and their favourite map as well, because for all we know, this could have been the map that LP chose to play on first. I'm not quite sure how the veto system worked and who chose which map first and who was the kind of final decider on everything in that respect. But, you know, I do believe that Analyst could come back into this. You never know. It's such a different game mode, Search and Destroy.
Yeah, they just kind of excluded the ones who want to get rid of, and they're left with these. So, as we've said, we're going to have 2 Octanes and 2 Freight should it come to it, and the Warhawk to finish things off if it does go down to the final map. But there we go. A quick glance at the scoreboard as well, and something that you guys have been tweeting through is to bring that scoreboard up at the end of the game, something we were only aware of course, following the first one. So I'll try and get that up for you guys so you can get a nice picture, I think people were asking for, of how the teams are doing.
Yeah, indeed. But having a look at this final 30 seconds now, you can hear that clock just ticking down. It is all but beyond the guys from Analyst. Unfortunately, they are not going to be able to take this first map. Lightning Pandas looking incredibly strong here in London, doing some great work. And they're just going to be finishing off this game. That was a great kill there. He's going to try and get the second one. Unfortunately, not going to happen there. That was Random the man on the screen. Final 10 seconds now. That is going to be it. Lightning Pandas with a 1-0 lead.
Yep, and both of those halves convincingly in Lightning Pandas' favour as well. As we've said before, we've seen on the Dominations the second half tying up because teams have just been holding out for the draw. So that is going to be a
74-point difference.
There we go.
There we go. Sorry to cut you out, but yeah.
You're absolutely right. Saving me the time there, appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, as we say, have a quick look at the scoreboard there in the top right-hand corner. And we can see it up on the screen just for a split second. But, I mean, just to summarise, so we saw Ramba going 17-9, who was a really standout player. I mean, we've talked at length about the achievements of Shane and how strong a player Necrome is. But for me, Ramba and Random have really stood out there.
Yeah, exactly. And this is one of those things, I think some people would say that they, you know, Necrome and Shane may carry them on their shoulders, so to speak. I think that's one of the terms used in the community, that they really may carry them at LAN. But, yeah, as you said, Random and Ramba, they're really, you know, doing a great job and managing to stick with them. But anyway, guys, just whilst we get the next Search and Destroy game setting up, we're going to be heading to a quick 30-second commercial break. Do not go anywhere.
When the sun is shining, 'cause the light's not fair. I'm talking to my darkest shadows. This love is do or die, but they don't care. I don't know why I do this to myself. It's not right, but I can't love no one else, no one else.
Hello and welcome back to the European Championship Regionals. Myself, Rel and Chewy will be guiding you through this best of 5 series. And we are going to be going on to the next game mode, which is going to be Search and Destroy. And as we've said, it's going to be on Freight.
Yeah, now you watched a Freight game earlier on Search and Destroy, I do believe, in the first game of the day. Changing it up from Octane, and, you know, I do like this map. It's going to be an interesting one to see how it plays. What do you think about the map, Freight?
Absolutely love it for Search and Destroy.
Oh, yeah.
For Domination, I'm not too keen on it as a player. I just really struggle to get that B flag, if I'm being honest. I just feel like I'm running into a constant stream of bullets every time I run down there. But for Search and Destroy, I think it's a brilliant map. There's only so many routes you can take to approach the bomb sites. You know, that does apply to other maps as well. But it's one of those maps where I think a lot more gun skill is involved as opposed to something like Warhawk, for example.
Yeah, well, the reason why I love Freight so much is pretty much because of that B-bomb site. I just love the positioning of it. I think it's in such an interesting position because it's basically in the defensive team's spawn, and it's just in such a cool place that it is really a tricky one because, you know, you get some teams on the attacking round try and go through that underground section, make their way through there, go for a bit of a rush almost. You see some teams go for a rush on A, which is, of course, in the middle of the map. Be really interesting to see what's going to happen. Some delayed pushes as well on there. I love this map for Search and Destroy. I think it's going to be a really interesting one just to see how these two teams do play. And this game, you know, some people say that it's not about teamwork as much as the other game modes. Some people may argue that, but I think that there's a lot of teamwork that can happen in Search and Destroy to make sure that you've got your tactics down to a T.
Absolutely. Well, let's get on board with the attacking side. I always find it the best way to approach this. And of course, we want to go onto the spectator mode so that we can cover this perfectly for you all. So here we go.
And there we go. We're just going to have a look at the Twitter poll results. I do believe in a second. We are actually missing a player at the second. It looks like it's a 3-on-4 situation. So I believe we're getting the game started anyway, but it looks like one of those players, fortunately not in the game at the second, but having a look at what's going on now. It's now a 2-in-3 situation. Random, the man on your screen, managing to even it up. So it's Schwartz and Tiom Slayer going up against Random and Zamba here in a 2-on-2.
Yeah, and as you say about this map, of course, you can opt for that underground route, but the problem is once you're down there, you do have to open that gate at some point, and that's going to signal exactly where you are to the enemy team. So it's not always the best course of action.
Yeah, indeed. And that was actually Necrome there, who wasn't in the game for a second. So Necrome is now back. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to spawn in for this game, but still, the work from Lightning Pandas has actually been really good. We've got 42 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like that bomb has actually been planted here. So Lightning Pandas, considering they were a man down at the start, very well played, Rel.
Absolutely, and Random here just sitting top red in a great position whilst he doesn't have eyes on that bomb site. His teammates have been covering it. It is a 1-on-1 though, as Random is going up against Tom Slayer.
Yep, he is indeed. Enemy player, Tiom Slayer, is actually going to be next to that bomb site. Random here, just trying to waste time, making sure that nobody's going to be pushing through. And this is a great time to check the bomb, and he is going to be able to pick up that kill there. Lovely timing from him. He played that so well, was able to pick up 2 kills in that first round, which was crucial to them being able to take it. And Lightning Pandas take the first round with 1 player down off the start.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't even see, I mean, I could see him on the mini-map, but on the screen, I couldn't even see him defusing that. So great vision there from the Lightning Pandas player to actually pick up that kill. We will switch things up now, though, and get on board with the attack inside. And I want to see what's going on with Gunwise. He has got a kill to his name already.
Yep, he has indeed. Fortunately, weren't able to jump on board with him that much in the first domination game, because, yeah, it was just complete dominance there from Lightning Pandas. But Random and Rambo have actually gone down. That's big 2 kills there. Shane managing to get revenge kill there. He's going to be able to pick up another one. He does go down, so now it's a 1 versus 3 situation for Necrome. Yeah,
a little bit of confusion there for Gunwise, who's kind of spinning around, not sure where to go. Things looking good for Analyst, though, here, as they do get a round under their belt, now bringing things back to 1-1, and both of the defending sides actually taking it.
Yep, and that's such a crucial round for them to be able to get that first point on the board here in Search and Destroy, because you know, Search and Destroy is one of those game modes when people start to get that bit of a momentum. We saw it earlier on in the day, that final map 5, the guys from Rainmix were able to take a 5-0 lead in it, and as soon as they got those first 2 rounds, that was it pretty much. That was game, set, and match almost.
Yeah, I just want to correct myself as well. It was actually the attacking sides taking that. But anyway, let's see what is going on now with Shane, as he is going to make this approach towards the middle map. Very aggressive player. You will see him just throwing himself into danger and see what he can bring out of it. They seem a little bit unorganised, Lightning Pandas here.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what they're going to play. They're all stacked up in this midsection at the minute. You can see Shane just in the middle of these train tracks right now. He's going to get challenged. Does get that first blood there. Great kill onto him. That's another one going down. So Ruston does go down, taken out by Necrome. Shane, as he reloads, is able to pick up the second kill in the round for him. That's the 3rd in the round for Lightning Pandas. Now it's a 3-on-1 situation. Schwartz, who's currently on an even kill death ratio of 1-to-1. The last one left alive, he has been spotted and taken out. Another attacking round goes to the winners there, which is going to be Lightning Pandas this time.
Yeah, which is quite interesting. Usually this map, it's very... it's usually the defending side that seems to always win, and it's more than likely a case of whoever can break the defense will take it. But evidently this hasn't been the case so far. And I've got to say, I mean, this Lightning Pandas team, obviously Shane and Necro teaming from the UK for this with their teammates, they don't look very well practiced as opposed to a team that you would have seen together for months and months. There seems to be a little bit of unorganisation between them.
Yeah, and of course, if they do manage to progress their way through to the Call of Duty World Championships in LA, which will be held at the end of March, they're going to have some more time to practice, get some more time in the game as a team on board with them. But we'll see what they can do. They're still doing a very good job with that 74 points difference, which they did manage to take in the first domination, and now they have the advantage here, only by 1 round so far on Search and Destroy. But you do see Shane going down. That's a massive pick.
There we go. Still with Gunwise. Let's see what's going on with Ruston now. Currently sitting on 2-to-3 middle map area. Has sustained some damage, but is still alive and very cautious as he's making this approach to red. I think he's just very hesitant because he knows that someone's in there who is going to challenge him.
Oh, that's a great kill there from Random, not missing a single shot, it didn't look like. And that means now that it is going to be a 3-on-2 situation, actually, as Lightning Pandas do manage to regain the map man control on the map. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. Of course, they did get the initial pick, Analyst, and now they've managed to switch up. 28 seconds left on the clock, so they've got to decide what to do here. They cannot be hesitant, but Schwartz is actually just on his own in the middle of the map here. It looks like the rest of his players are going to start to head towards this B-bomb site, and they are going to be pushing through now.
Well, it's a 2 versus 3 situation that we've found these guys in, and Alice are making this push now towards B and LP. Lightning Pandas are completely unaware of it. They're all defending A.
Yeah, that's a great push there from the Analyst squad. Absolutely perfect rotation coming in from Schwartz there. Did have the control of the middle map. He is able to pick up a kill there on the Chrome. Unfortunately, does get taken out. Now it's a 1 versus 2 situation. Oh, unfortunately not able to get that. Rambo with the 2-piece, taking out the last 2 players. turrets, and he's going to be able to get the defuse as well. Great plays from him. That was a really tricky situation for Analyst there, obviously being in that 2 versus 3 man deficit, but the way that they got that rotation over to the B bomb site and managed to plant it looked really good, so there are still positive signs for them.
Yeah, and I mean, I noticed on the minimap we could actually see LP were actually converging on that bomb site just before it went down. I think they realised they're not going to be going for A, so all started moving to B. Problem for Analyst was they had no idea where Lightning Pandas were, and they were outmanned as well.
Yep, they were indeed. So let's jump on board with the attacking team once again, which is actually going to be Lightning Pandas for this one. Ramba's going to be a bomb carrier, but we're on board with Necrome. Haven't seen him too much yet during this search and destroy. He's 3 and 2 at the second, as you can see by the scoreboard up in the top right-hand side of the screen. Schwartz able to pick up the first kill there onto Ramba, though. Now it's all even as Shane actually gets a knife.
Yep, and that's going to open things up for him. 3 versus 3 now is what we're looking at. There is just over a minute left on that clock, so plenty of time to actually make a push, but the bomb is sitting tight in that middle map. Very dangerous place to go and pick it up. Yeah,
it is indeed. Necrome still the man on your screen. Just under 1 minute left on the clock for the attacking team. It looks like that bomb has been picked up by Random, and now TM Slayer is the last one left alive. He does pick up a kill there, so it's Shane and Random. Random is going to be able to get the bomb plant, so now all of the pressure is stacked on the man on your screen.
There we go. TM Slayer just sitting up top. He thinks he's found someone and he's going to have to go and challenge. Does spin around. Is he going to make the kill? No, he's not. He's just going to evade. But he's going to come head-to-head here, and that was never going to end well. As soon as he started looking up towards that top red area, you knew that he was going to be going down.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like Random may have actually heard him, because he started to look back here, or maybe he was just checking his flank, making sure that nobody was going to be coming behind him, and that's exactly what happened. Able to pick up the kill there. Random doing very, very well. And these guys are playing, you know, I have to really give it up to these two players, Ramba and Random, so far, because they've been really hanging it with the guys of Shane and Necrome, who we thought, you know, well, some people thought that they may be carrying the team throughout the entire series, but playing very well, and it's a good team choice here from Shane and Necrome to be able to match up with these guys and play with them. But here we go, Analyst, your attacking squad.
I'm still on board with TM Slayer here, who's actually the top of his leaderboard for his respective team. 3 kills, 4 deaths, does have the plant though, which is adding to that score. And this is what we've talked about. I mean, when you're making this underground push, the problem is he's going to have to reveal his location when he goes through these gates. He has no choice.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, the interactive map's making sure that you can do that, and he is going to try and open up the doors just to his left. I think he may have tried and opened it, but I'm not sure if he was successfully able to do that. Still the man on your screen, as they has got the initial pick onto Necrome there. So that's a 4-on-3 situation. Making his way right to the back here. He has actually revealed his location by firing a few bullets, but I'm not sure if he's actually just going to be sneaking around, making sure that nobody's going to be pushing him. And I mean, it's still a good situation here for Analyst Pandas. They've got a 2-on-4 situation now, so it's looking good for them.
Right, well, here we go. He's just sitting tight up top, and you can see them just slowly moving towards that bomb site. They've got to be careful, though, because Random and Ramba, I mean, they're defending 1 each, but they're in great positions to do this.
Yeah, they are indeed. And have a look at this now. It's Ramba in a 1 versus 3 situation. He's the man on your screen. Going to see if he's going to be able to spot anybody here. 20 seconds left. He is the defending man, so he's got, you know, he's not got to worry about bomb plants, but the bomb has actually gone down. So now he has to worry about bomb defusals. He has been spotted. Is going to get taken out. 4-2 is the score, and that is such a huge round, I have to say. They still have got that 2-round deficit, but I do believe if Analyst went 5-1 down, you know, the mental thoughts of being that far down in a search and destroy game, very, very difficult to come back from.
Oh yeah, well, there's no safety net at all in that case. You just have to win every single round back to back, which is, of course, no easy feat. Going on board, though, with the attacking side means we will be staying with Lightning Pandas, and we'll just stay with Ramba. He does tend to be picking up this bomb, so let's see if he's going to go for an early push towards A, like we've seen time and time again, or try and do something different and go towards B.
Yeah, let's see what he's going to be able to do. Looks like they may be going towards A, and actually have got the initial pick there. Necrome managing to take out TM Slayer. The revenge kill came in. Schwartz managed to take out Necrome, but all going down. This has been a very quick round so far. 2 versus 2. Ramba and Shane going up against Gunwise and Ruston.
Yeah, what Ramba's done is actually gone the route whereby you would normally have to open up that gate, but of course he hasn't had to signal that to the other team, so they have no idea that he's here.
Yeah, they don't indeed. Just under a minute left on the clock. He's going to be going for this bomb plant here onto B. As I said, I just love the position of this, making sure that nobody's going to be able to spot him, and now suddenly out absolutely nowhere, and Alice are like, oh, okay, they're at B. We've got to head over there and make sure that we can try and retake this B bomb site. Here we go, 37 seconds left before that bomb will blow up. Will it blow up? Will there be a successful defusal, or will the Lightning Pandas just extend that lead to 5-2? We will find out in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, Ramba, as you can see, just backed off into a very defensive position there in the corner, leaving Shane all on his own as he does go down in a 1 versus 1. It is Shane up against Ruston. They've spotted each other. Shane's bullets do not connect, and he is going to get shut down by Ruston, who takes him out through the wall and is going to get that bomb defused.
Again, an absolutely massive round there, and that was such a huge kill. If that's not going to pump them up, I'm not sure quite what will in this search and destroy game, because that was brilliant from them. Starting to come back into this. This is a bit of a closer game than the domination domination on Octane, which we saw a bit earlier on. 4-3 is your score, as you can see on your screen. Just switching sides, making sure that everything gets set up as we do head into the next round on the map. Freight here and Alice are going to be your attacking squad. And having a look at the scoreboard there, Rustin, the man on your screen, he's 6-5.
Yeah, and that was just such a massive kill. I mean, that was essentially the difference between it being 5-2 and 4-3. He's kept his team in this game, and I've got to say this, Shane actually a little bit careless and silly to challenge that. He was almost round the corner. He could have just played that safely.
Yeah, he could indeed, but he is 10-5. He's got a 2-kill death ratio at the minute in the game, so, you know, it's the kind of thing that Shane would challenge, him being that attacking player, really SMG-based, really objective-based as well, is Shane, but Rustin, the man on your screen here, in a 3 versus 4 situation, Lightning Pandas do have the man advantage. Take that away though, as Necrome does go down. So now it's a 3-on-3.
There we go. 6-5, as you say, on the scoreboard. Top fragging for his team after that brilliant round from him. And he's just sweeping over to B. Has managed to spot someone and pick up that kill. Things looking quite nice, actually, for Analyst to actually take this round. It is 2-2, but they're in a great position here. You can see the bomb plant going down, and LP have no idea.
Yeah, it seems that a lot of these teams are really favouring going towards that B bomb site. Some teams do try and get those rushes in onto A, or just get a few early picks on Freight and then move into that A bomb site. But it looks like a lot of teams are just trying to be sneaky, catch some players out. It looks like it's worked so far. Unfortunately, he's not going to win that gunfight. That was crucial. He took that, and now Tion Slayer is the last one left alive against Random and Ramba in a 1 versus 2 situation. Not going to happen though. Random takes him out with that Scorpion, is going to be able to get the defuse with plenty of time left on the clock, and now they are 1 round away from being able to take the game. We will see if Lightning Pandas can close this one out, or are the guys from Analyst going to have to play this game, you know, pretty much perfectly to be able to come back into it?
Yeah, quite unlucky as well for Analyst not to actually pick up that kill and make it a 1 versus 1. You know, he was in a great position behind the bomb, and Random essentially just ran right into his line of fire, but just outplayed him.
Yeah, indeed, it was as simple as that. That's exactly what happened. But here we go, heading into the 9th round, 8 round played so far. 5-3 is your score, as you can see at the top. Shane in double figures, 11-6. Absolutely phenomenal work from him. Just what you would expect from one of the most experienced players in the Call of Duty community, let alone the European Call of Duty community. But Ramba, the man on your screen, he's your bomb carrier here. 1 minute, 12 seconds left on the clock for them. Shane gets the initial kill there with a grenade onto Gunwise.
Ramba does get shut down. Let's see what's going on with Shane as he goes into the 12-6 kill-death ratio. Absolutely brilliant play from him. Doesn't have any plants to his name or anything, which is hindering him from taking that top spot above Ramba, but still, that is a very impressive scoreline for Search and Destroy.
Yep, one of the differences in this game, which is really giving them that advantage. But again, we talked about it earlier on. Ramba and Random doing very well themselves. 6-6, 6-5. 2 plants for Ramba. Shane, the man on your screen, it's a 1-on-2 situation for Schwartz. He's got Necrome and Shane up against him. Not going to happen though. Shane shuts him down. 6-3 is your score. And there we go, Lightning Pandas, 1 single map away from LA.
That's it. So Lightning Pandas, I wouldn't say that was as convincing as I thought it would be. I mean, you know, I think a lot of people were just expecting Lightning Pandas to clean sweep these guys away, but the Russians and Northern Irish player put up a really good fight here, I would say, and do not rule them out of this yet. I mean, we've seen this massive comeback before. The first game of this whole tournament, we saw Rain go 2-0 down and actually end up winning 3-2.
Yeah. Could
happen here.
Yeah, it could indeed. And I just saw on our screen to the left where we can see a live feed of everything that you do see at home, guys. Shane's pumped, he's clapping his hands, he's just up to my right. Unfortunately, I can't hear what he's saying, but I'm sure he's ready to go. He knows that he is 1 map away from LA, and I don't think they're going to, you know, be able to lose this 3rd map. With the experience that they've got, with the hype that they've got, with the motivation that they've got, you know, I think they are going to take it. But guys, just while we set up for the next Blitz game, which will be back onto Octane, we'll be going to a quick 30-second commercial break. Do not go anywhere.
Hello and welcome back to the European Championship Regionals. My name is Rel and I am joined by Chewy here on main stage as we are giving you coverage of Lightning Pandas going up against Analyst.LA. It's the rest of Europe and Russian sector that we're commentating over now.
Yeah, of course, if you are just joining us, we've seen 2 matches going on today. We saw the first team to qualify was Rainmix, who came back from 2-0 down to be able to take their series against Orbit.Sweden, I do believe. So they were the first team from the Nordic qualifiers to go through. And then we've just seen one of the Italian qualifiers, which was the map, I believe that was Sublime who managed to qualify and go through to COD Champs in LA. And here we go on to the third map. As Rel did say, Lightning Pandas going up against Analyst. And we are heading into the third map. Lightning Pandas with a 2-0 lead coming into this third game.
Yep, and we are revisiting Octane after the convincing domination win that Lightning Pandas had. Surely they're going to be confident going into this now.
Oh yeah, you'd have to say. And again, it's going to be really interesting to see how these two teams play this. Is it going to be a close game with not too many captures on the board? Or is it just going to be one of those where teams completely sweep away with it? I think the biggest score that I've actually seen on a Blitz game is over 50 points, which actually didn't happen that long ago. It was in the United States regional qualifiers or in the preliminary qualifiers online, I do believe. And I think it was Curse New York who managed to get near that region. A lot of teams doing very, very well over there. But here we go. 15-second countdown on our screens, and we're going to be heading right into the action. It's going to be very, very difficult to head away from the Lightning Pandas squad, I do have to admit, Rel.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to watch Shane particularly on this because we know he's very heavily objective-based and is known for, I know this term's thrown about way too much and overused, but bamboozling his opponents.
Oh yeah, bamboozle.
You'll see him sort of shaking back and two and throwing them off guard and not necessarily going for the kills, but just going for those captures. So let's just keep an eye on how aggressive he's going to play this.
Yeah, and he's playing this incredibly aggressively. There is actually going to be a player to his left, so if he doesn't spot that player, he's going to get taken out, and that's exactly what happened. Great awareness there from Ruston to make sure that nobody was going to be pushing through there. Of course, if you are new to competitive Call of Duty and you're not quite sure what Blitz is all about, guys, it is an incredibly simple objective. The team that you are on has the simple objective of trying to get as many captures into the enemy blitz portal area. You simply just run into it, you capture a point, and you respawn back at your own base, and that's as simple as that, and it's whoever captures the most. And let's see what happens now. Ramba, 3-1 at the second. The man on his screen made that 4-1. Lovely work from him.
Yeah, big play from Ramba there. He was in his home base, so he could really turn that into any sort of capture.
I thought I saw somebody there
I
as
thought
well,
I saw someone as well, yeah. Well, I'm not sure what happened, but in any case, he does spot someone and gets shut down. Still, he is playing well on 4-2. Shane yet to actually pick up a kill.
Yep, indeed, but have a look at the score. Oh, just unfortunately Shane not being able to push through there, but Analyst actually with the early lead, so although they're not doing as much work with the slaying power maybe, although Shane's still not actually being able to drop a kill so far, they have got that initial point. 3 minutes 48 seconds left on the clock. It's only a 1-0 score, so anything can happen, and 3 do go down there for Analyst. Ruston off the respawn here has to do some work. It looks like they're going to be able to even things up here.
Yeah, it was Ruston who did get that capture, so I'm just trying to give him a little bit of coverage, but the score does now get tied at 1-1. As you said, I mean, kills are, you know, they're a big thing in this. Of course, it's that respawn delay, so if you can pick up some kills, sure, it's going to open up the routes to actually go for the capture, but it's how teams play it. I've talked at length about the fact that Shane likes to be very sneaky in his approach to actually getting his captures, so we're going to see if that rings true in this game.
Oh, Ruston there, unfortunately just getting taken out before he was going to try and capture that base, and now it's 2-1. Lightning Pandas taking the lead for the first time in this Blitz game. Let's switch on board with Tion Slayer just off the respawn in his home base, see if they're going to be able to push through. Great work coming in from Lightning Pandas right now. 6-2 is the score for Random. Ramba going 6-4. Shane still 0-5 at the second, but he has that crucial capture to his name right now, so we'll see if he's going to be able to keep that up. And you know, you talked about how kills may not be the most essential thing for a player like Shane, and just getting those captures on the board. I remember right in the first tournament on Call of Duty Ghost, Rambo, I believe he only went 5-14, but he got so many captures that was the factor which won them the game. So, you know, killing and frags isn't just the initial factor on this game mode.
Absolutely. Well, we're still on board with Tion Slayer now, who has been alive for quite an extended period of time. Very hesitant to push, opting for a more defensive role for his team and just trying to hold off the cut-off points on the mid-map area.
Yep, he is indeed. Still trying to watch if anybody's going to be coming towards him, and the enemy have scored, so not doing as much defensive work as maybe he would like to, although he has spotted the player there. He's going to get shots down and just get the kill as well. Now he's going to move away from that position. Team has scored for him, so now it's a 3-on-2, still a 1-point lead for LP right now, as we do see Shane still not with a kill to his name. He's 0-6, but he has got 2 captures, so he's doing great work, even though he hasn't been able to pick up a frag yet.
Yeah, currently on 0-7. I mean, I'm going to actually watch Shane for a bit and see what is going wrong for him here, because, you know, obviously he's getting the objective, very important, but he needs to be making those captures as well, because his team could start slipping behind. I mean, they do have that 3-point lead already, though.
Yeah, but as soon as we do give him some stream love, he is able to pick up that first kill. I find that quite a lot. As soon as we give somebody who may be struggling in the killing department some love on stream, they are actually able to pick up their game. But Shane, you know, he doesn't really need to worry about picking up his game because he has got 2 captures. We'll see if they can extend it. 5-2 is the score. Everybody from Lightning Pandas has got a capture onto the board. Shane's starting to push forward now. He has just picked up his second kill of the game, and with 1 minute 32 seconds left on the clock, this is looking once again very, very good for Lightning Pandas.
Well, it does go down. Let's see what is going on with Necrome now. 9-4, looking very strong. Necrome, as opposed to objective, you will see him doing this holding role. He's not particularly going to be going for the captures despite having 1 to his name already, but he's just going to be trying to prevent the team from advancing past this mid-map.
Yep, he will indeed. Necrome actually on a 6-score streak, I do believe, at the second. He's 10-4, reached double figures. Random 11-6, and Ramba 10-6. So really good work here coming in from Lightning Pandas. It does look like this may be one of their favorite game modes. 6-2 is the score. As another one is scored. I believe that could have been Rambo who managed to push in there and be able to pick up another point for the Lightning Pandas squad. And Rel, I have to say, anything can happen in the final 5 minutes, but just the way that Lightning Pandas are playing right now, all of the work that they're doing in the slaying work, the capturing work, the map control that they've got, I think they've already booked their tickets to LA, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the way that LP are actually getting these captures as well, they're almost very simple. They're not really facing any challenges. They're just running straight into it because the supporting teammates are picking up all of the kills.
Yeah, they are indeed. As Shane manages to pick up another one. That's his 4th capture of the half. Into the final 28 seconds as we do hear that clock starting to tick down. And we'll see if they are going to be able to take this game and take the Series 3-0 Lightning Pandas, or whether Analysts are going to be able to come back into it. Of course, if you do manage to qualify and you do go through to LA, not only do you qualify for that, you do qualify for the European Championship bracket tomorrow, which is a 16-team bracket. Winner takes all from that single elimination tournament. 15,000 euros will be your prize if you do take that. So, you've not only been able to bag yourself a free spot to LA, you've got some more Call of Duty action to happen tomorrow. But 10-2 is the score. If Analysts want to continue in this series, they've got to make 8-point deficit comeback and then take the lead after that, Rel.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for them. But just watching Shane then for pretty much the final minute of that game, he almost didn't, I don't think he actually picked up a single kill. He got 1 capture and he was almost going to get his 2nd. There was just no one challenging. There just seems to be no defensive work in place from Analysis.
No, and some people do say that that's the thing with Blitz, that they do struggle and it is taking time for them to get used to that defensive work. And it'll be really interesting to see just how long Analysis have actually been a squad, whether they're used to playing Blitz, whether it's always been one of those game modes which has been a bit of an iffy one, so to speak, for them, one that they're not too confident on, and unfortunately it could be the one that completely knocks them out of the tournament. As Shane again managing to get a 6th capture of the game so far. He's 6 and 10 at the second, 11-3 is the score, picking up another kill here with his MTAR, starting to make his way through the garage. Is he going to be able to get another one? It looks like his team managed to actually put another point on the board, and he's just running through here. Nobody's contesting him whatsoever.
This is what I mean. I mean, there's just no defense. I think it's a kind of a mixture of the fact that Analysis conscious they need to be getting captures themselves, so just leaving it unguarded, but also Shane just reading the play very well from Analysis and just managing to sweep past them. We are going to give some love to Analysis though and see what's going on for these guys. Gunwise currently 8-17, not having the best game ever, but still picking up kills.
Yep, they are indeed. 3 minutes 54 seconds left on the clock. 12-3 is your score. Going to switch up to Tiam Slayer. 10 and 10. Even at the second, he's just got to an advantage on his kill death ratio, but does then get taken out. He's only got 1 cap to his name. And having a look at that captures there, Shane has got 7. That's really been the main difference there. He's really been the one carrying his LP squad to the lead here on this Blitz game. His 3 do go down there momentarily for Lightning Pandas. But having a look at Analysis, 2 of them haven't actually got a single capture yet in the the whole game. That's not really exactly what you're planning on doing to try and stay in the series, Rel.
No, not at all. Shane certainly brought things back though from 0-7 to 8-12, so he stepped his game up a little bit there, and as we say, I mean, he's got the most score of anyone despite Random having 20 kills. But here we go, watching Tiam Slayer, who does manage to pick up a capture, maybe too little too late, but there's still certainly time to bring this back for Analysis.
Yeah, there is. You cannot just count them out yet. It's going to be very, very close and down to the wire if they are going to try and come back into this. But are we going to see some crazy plays coming in from Analysis, or are Lightning Pandas going to be able to take this? 13-6 is your score. Both teams scoring at the same time. I do believe they're actually Tiam Slayer still the man on your screen. He's currently 12 and 11, top of the leaderboard for his team. Schwartz is actually top fragging, going 16 and 16 at the minute. Here we go. See if they are going to be able to come back into this, but I'm afraid, well, I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, let's see if Rustin can change that and turn the tables a little bit. Does get shut down straight away as we switch over to him. This may be all over. Schwartz throwing his grenade up there, and I mean, they just can't seem to find a route. The thing with Lightning Pandas is when we've been watching the objective work of Shane, and I keep highlighting Shane simply because he's got 8 captures, it's just a case of him sweeping through. He's sort of bob and weaves through every single nook and cranny to actually get to the capture point. But when we actually watch Analysis, there just seems to be a bit of hesitation and panic. They don't want to commit to anything.
Yep, and I mean, this is the point that we raised right at the start of the game, that it's not all about frags. You have got Random there going 23 and 12, almost a 2-kill death ratio, really showing off his slaying power for Lightning Pandas, which is, of course, doing great work. He has got 2 captures to his name, but Shane, the only player in the game who hasn't actually dropped double-figure kills, and he's the one making all of the difference in the objectives, which is the one that is making them win 8 captures to his name. Absolutely phenomenal work from Shane. Exactly, again, what you would expect from one of the Europeans' best players.
Well, here with Schwartz B trying to pick up a kill with that MTAR, and able to do so. MTAR, of course, being one of the most favoured guns on Ghost at the moment. We do see things like the Remington being introduced from time to time for that AR slaying, but with a large clip size and rapid fire rate, as well as fairly high power, it's a very popular gun of choice.
Oh yeah, it is indeed. Sometimes you'll see some other ones slip into the mix, but I know some teams on game modes like Freight Blitz. They just run 4 SMGs. They're happy to just run 4 MTARs. They feel that that gives them enough slaying power, enough OBJ work, and they can just happily run those 4. But we'll see, throughout the tournament, how different teams do play that, what gun choices they have, and it looks like Necrome has actually managed to get an even better advantage because he's got an MTAR and a Remington R5 strapped to his back. Going to be making his way forward now. Looks like he's going to be uncontested. Another point on the board. 16-8 is the score. 57 seconds left on the clock. Rel, Lightning Pandas are going to LA.
They certainly are. There is nothing that Analyst.LA will be able to do about this. So once again, Shane will be making his international travels to compete on Call of Duty. Competed so many times in these high tier competitions, and this is just another one to add to the list.
Yeah, but I believe, whilst we were doing our research, I did actually find out that Shane has never failed to qualify for one of these tournaments. He's never failed to qualify for something like this. So, I mean, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal for him to be able to make that trip and head over to LA and make sure that he can do some good work over there. And we'll see what's going to happen, but here we go. 20 seconds left on the clock. 17-12 is the score as Analyst do manage to pick up another one. And that's it. Going to be it. Rel, game over, game, set, and match in favour of Lightning Pandas.
And that's going to be it. And just touching on what you said before for Shane, I mean, there's been GameStop, San Francisco, COD XP, Call of Duty Championships, and now the second one as well. Making regular visits across the world, really.
Yep, indeed. But anyway, guys, that is going to be the game, set, and match. As I did say to the Lightning Pandas, they're going to be qualifying through with a 3-0 sweep over Analyst.LA, but we're going to be handing straight over to the Analyst and Julia backstage.
You called it 3-0, and you're on the money. Was it quite straightforward? Everything went according to plan?
Yeah,
Matt?
I mean, when we watched it, everybody showed up. We kind of highlighted Shane and Necrome beforehand, but Ramba, I think, was one of the kind of standout performers. First map, he went 17-9. He kind of held it down for his team. And as it progressed, Shane had a great S&D. He went 13-6 and was winning rounds and making challenges. And then right at the end there for the last map, we've seen Necrome doing what he had to do. He held the key spot in the map and it just let his team do all the objective work, and he finished really strongly as well.
So when it gets sort of quite predictable like this, if you're the team that is the underdog and you're facing up, I mean you sit in a soundproof booth, you look over there and you see Shane, you see Necrome, you see all these big players, and you think, right, we're up against it. Where does the motivation come from then? Like, Josh, tell me, how would you motivate yourself in a situation where you actually are facing a team that is going to be very, very tough to beat?
I think it all depends on the start of the game. Like, you can't really do much. You just got to hope you get a good start to the game. If you get a good start to the game, then everyone knows you get the momentum, you keep it going, and you have to just try roll it on from there. There's no real thing you can do to get yourself going for. Obviously, you can get zoned in and try focus and just make yourself want to beat them. But there's nothing you can do to get zoned in before the game. You just want to get going and try to get a good start.
So sort of build up that momentum and confidence, and just hope it sort of carries you through.
Yeah.
So the Lightning Pandas that's my favourite team name. I know everyone's loving it. We're very, very lucky at Gfinity. They were sending us sort of variations of the logos they were going to use. Some of them you couldn't show on TV, but they were very funny. They're a good creative bunch. Obviously, Shane's a massive character. Realistically, how can they do in LA, do you think, Riddles?
Realistically, I think the whole basis of Shane and Necrome, getting his team together was just for a lot of what players do now for that trip to LA. I mean, I'm not saying taking it away from them, but anything is possible. I mean, you're playing against other players that I know are not used to the whole surroundings, the scenario, so anything is possible. It comes down to the factor of, again, what your point earlier, it's all about confidence. I mean, playing against the big dogs, you've got amazing teams like Complexity. If they get drawn up against them, it's all about confidence. That start, you can do anything's possible, in my opinion. They can get 1 map, 2 maps. It may even be the underdogs, and they progress around and even be in the money. Anything can happen in Call of Duty, as we've seen today.
Fair enough. And we're starting to move into sort of, with the greatest respect, some of the more high-profile matches featuring some of the more experienced, high-profile players. Are you expecting to see any shocks later? Can you foresee any surprises, really?
There is some quite good games coming up. The next one that's on stream is probably going to be one of my favourite games to watch. It's
going to be good.
It's going to be really close. A couple of really good players. Sneaky in particular is outstanding in my opinion, and he could be the game changer. And obviously you've got TCM and Epsilon. Everyone's going to be watching them to see how they do. So.
Fair enough. And what about TYT? I know there's a lot of hype around the boys because obviously they're, from their YouTuber stuff, and obviously they've tried to apply a more competitive, professional approach to what they're doing now. They're qualified, so they deserve to be here by right. So they've got to get the respect of everyone by the fact they've beaten people. Josh, how do you think they're going to do?
As we said not long ago, I really think it depends how they do in the first map to start off, because the team they're coming up against, albeit 2 of their players have never been to a LAN event. So if TYT can get going and start, and like we all know they're a hype team, like Krads knows it herself, like everyone, if they can get going, they can actually do it. Because they're really good players and they've grown into the game. They know a lot about the game. They've understood just they're learning new things, and they know a lot about the game, as I said. So it'd be interesting to see how the game starts off. I think that's going to decide the whole thing.
Okay, fair enough. And so obviously we've got all the qualification stuff today. Tomorrow then we've got the European Championship single elimination knockout tournament. Yes, there's a prize pot of 15k, winner takes all, which is attractive. The title of European Championships, that's European champion, sorry, that's attractive. But also, what people may not know is it forms part of the seeding for LA. So how important is a good performance tomorrow?
Extremely important, in my opinion, because you've got to look at it in 2 different ways. Like, obviously, your first goal is to qualify, and tomorrow you've got to think about the long-term effects of it. I mean, you've got your there's a 15k prize pot, but you know, you're playing to win more money. It's not the short term, it's the long term. You're playing to get yourself a better seed, to try and win even more, and, you know, become known as one of the greatest teams the world's seen. It's a World Championship Series for a reason, you know, so it's all about that long-term goal. So
it can be quite life-changing, the whole LA experience.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the players like Shane, who's been there all the time. He's one of the most kind of consistent performers. You go over there, it's a life-changing amount of money for some people, especially people who are at university, like most gamers are. I mean, £100,000 each is a lot of money, and it's something to work towards for everyone. So yeah, tomorrow's really important, as Zach said, sorry. You want to kind of avoid teams like Complexity, and winning events like this is going to avoid them to the finals.
Fair enough. Okay, thanks, boys. Right, well, we'll be back. We've just got to drop the stream down for just 1 second so we make it even better quality for you guys. We've seen some feedback come in. You want a couple of changes? We're benevolent. We're going to do that for you. So don't go anywhere. Keep watching, and we'll be back probably in about 30 seconds. We'll see you soon.